people feel that they have to give up, and that means taking their own lives. And it's just, I can't. Very sad. I'm sorry if I'm about to get emotional, but it's just something you have to grapple with so we can keep the families and the city in our thoughts.
Thank you. Very tragic indeed. Anyone else wants to add? Seeing none, please join me in a moment of silent meditation. Councilmember Mitchell.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We'll do the roll call, starting with District 1 City Councilmember Hernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Hill.
Present.
Councilmember Jordan.
Present.
Councilmember Simmons.
Present.
Councilmember Oates.
Present.
Councilmember Ranker.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Present.
And Councilmember Mitchell. Thank you. I like that. We'll do the announcement in the same order, starting with Councilmember Hernandez.
Hello, everyone, and just wanted to start off by saying what a really busy Saturday we had this last week. There was a whole bunch of community cleanups happening in North College Park. We had the opportunity to clean up the surrounding areas of Edgewood and Rhode Island, Narragansett Parkway, and the surrounding areas of the Hollywood Elementary School. We got to join the parent-teachers organizations, organized cleanup, and painting of some of the school equipment there, so we were really excited to be able to participate. Announcement I have for May 7th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Office of Councilmember Thomas Jarnoga will host a community conversation with the Comptroller Brooke Learman. That is going to be in the Laurel Beltsville Senior Activities Center in the Great Room at 7120 Conti Road, Laurel, Maryland. And that, again, is going to be May 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. See you there.
Thank you. It was indeed a pretty exciting cleanup event, and it's pretty good turnout, and we did quite a bit. Thanks to all the volunteers who took part of the event. Councilmember Hill.
I echo the announcements of my colleague, and I pass.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to let everybody know that Saturday is Maryland Day with the University of Maryland. It's a springtime sort of open house where many different departments will showcase the best of what they have to offer, both for the community and for the students. You can bring your family and friends and enjoy interactive demonstrations, performances, and workshops that celebrate community diversity. I'm sure diversity also, but discovery and Terp pride. It is free and open to the public. There's free parking. In addition, there is valet-free bike parking so that you can even bike there. This is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Pass.
And Councilmember Oates.
Pass.
Councilmember Ranker.
I will share that May 2nd is Berwyn Heights Day. Our neighboring jurisdiction has a wonderful community day, so you can check that out. And I also just want to plug our city compost program. And if you haven't already gotten your bin, it's a great program. You can get the bin, and it'll help save us fees on sending stuff to the dump, but it also helps us do a solid for the environment.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
I think this is going to be DPW night. Just wanted to remind everyone that it's time to clean up your house and spruce up. And so there's spring cleanup days where you can drop things off at Davis Hall, and it's a really good deal so that you don't get to your 20. I always try to drop some things off so I don't get past my 20 heavy items. And also want to just encourage people to take advantage of our mulch and our black gold soil that's available to purchase, and it's very reasonable, and it can even be delivered. And also want to encourage people to consider doing the food scrap, curbside food scrap collection. It's another way of helping save our environment and saving tipping fees. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I would like to announce that District 4 will be hosting its monthly engagement series with our residents. The next one will be on May the 20th, and our special guest will be the Comptroller for the state of Maryland, Brooke Learman. Also, I'd like to announce that May is, I guess, starting prom month, and the Daughters of Zion Global Foundation are giving away free prom dresses on Tuesdays from 1 to 4, Wednesdays from 1 to 6, Saturdays from 12 to 4 at 10837 Lanham 7 Road in Lanham, Maryland. And I would be glad to pass on this information to the clerk to post. Also, this is also budget season, not only for the city of College Park, but for Prince George's County. They are holding virtual sessions on different parts and elements of their budget. On April 28th, they were talking about the Board of Education budget, which you can view virtually, as well as May 4th. They will be talking about, again, the Board of Education budget and the constant yield. And on May 11th, the Maryland Capital Park and Planning budget will be on their virtual component of the TV at 7 o'clock. Last but not least, Mr. Mayor and Council and residents listening, I want to apprise you that WSSC is continuing to provide assistance to families in need with their water bill. They're going to be hosting an event on Wednesday, April 29th at the William Barnes Community Center, 5110 Diana Drive in Suitland Hill, Maryland, from 6 to 8 p.m. They're going to be assisting with the review of your bill and usage, help you to apply for financial assistance, and many more tips. And they also are continuing to provide a one-time assistance of up to $750. And I'll pass this information on to the clerk. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Let's go to our student liaison, starting with Mr. DiSpirito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The other week, I had the opportunity to meet with representatives from the Graduate Student Labor Union and discuss their priorities, as well as how they can have a growing partnership with the city going forward, and possibly have communication with council members on certain initiatives they would want to have partnership with. Another thing as well that we've been working on, Amir and I, our terms are almost up. We just got a couple more weeks. So we're working on the interviews, getting those up and running for the selection committee for the next student liaison team. So very excited about that. I can tell you that there's been some really great applicants who applied, so really excited about that, and really excited to see what the new group will be able to do. So that's all from me.
Thank you. And Ms. Bujma?
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well. The updates I have are actually a little bit unrelated to the City Council, but in our roles as student liaison, we really believe in upholding democracy and ensuring things are fair. And as you guys know, we ran for SGA President and Vice President of Financial Affairs, respectively. And today, the Governance Board and Election Commission made a decision to bar us from ever running for SGA again in the future, because both tickets in this election were disqualified for actions taken by, in our case, only 2 members of our ticket out of the 40 people on our ticket. That happened 6 months ago. That's what we got disqualified for before we were even decided to run. For the other ticket, same thing. The vice president made a decision, and because of her decision, the entirety of their ticket got disqualified. And now what we're seeing is that Nick and I, despite our work as student liaisons, we will never have an opportunity to be involved in SGA again in light of this decision. They did not give us any chance to express our viewpoint while they were making this decision. And because of this, we view this as very unfair and something that you all should be aware of. As of right now, the only 2 people in SGA and who will be in SGA until September are 2 people who ran independently and not on a ticket, one of the candidates who only received 5 votes from the student body. So this is incredibly undemocratic and just something that I think as the city council who's affiliated with the university should be aware of.
Thanks for sharing. Okay. Yeah, let's talk offline. Yeah. Let's go to City Manager's report, Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and the residents of College Park. A couple announcements for tonight. Join the Tree and Landscape Board for our annual Arbor Day ceremony as we come together to plant trees and grow a greener future for College Park. The event is on April the 24th at 6 p.m. on the east side of Edmonston Road near Knoxville Drive, which is across from 7324 Edmonston Road. Parking will be available on Knoxville Drive. Friday Night Live is back with our encore edition featuring the return of some of our most requested bands. Groovalicious kicks off this year's summer concert series on May 8th at City Hall from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Free parking at our downtown garage during the event. The second annual Spring Street Fair in College Park is back on Sunday, May the 17th, coming up from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Davis Hall. This family-friendly event will feature a variety of exciting activities for people of all ages, including arts and crafts, vendors, cooking demonstrations from local chefs, children's activities, food trucks, live music, wandering performers, and just a lot of springtime fun. You can find out more details on that at www.collegeparkmd.gov/spring fair. And then lastly, we have our Bike to Work Day is May the 15th. You can stop by our City Hall pit stop here at 7401 Baltimore Avenue between 6:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on the front plaza to connect, refuel, and kickstart your morning. Learn more and register for our pit stop here at www.biketoworkmetrodc.org. And that's all I have. I'm ready to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any question for Mr. Young? Seeing none, let's do acknowledgement. I did not see any former elected officials. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. But thank you all who came tonight, and I think you'll be having some exciting time when our students will be reading their essays. Let's go to the proclamation and awards. And before we bring the essay contest winners, so let me read out just one proclamation. And this is about the Arbor Day, and it reads as follows. Whereas in 1872, J. Starling Morton proposed the establishment of a day dedicated to the planting of trees, now known as Arbor Day. And whereas trees provide significant environmental, economic, and social benefits, including reducing erosion, improving air quality, moderating temperatures, conserving energy, and supporting wildlife. Whereas trees enhance property values, strengthen the economic vitality of business areas, and contribute to the overall health and well-being of our community. And whereas the City of College Park has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for over 3 decades, and remains committed to maintaining and expanding its urban forest. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park, Maryland, that Friday, April 24, 2026 is hereby designated as Arbor Day in the City of College Park, Maryland. And be it further proclaimed that residents are encouraged to support the care and planting of trees for the benefit of present and future generations. Proclaimed this 21st day of April 2026, Fazil Kabir, Mayor, City of College Park. And I'd like to invite everyone to attend our Arbor Day tree planting event, and I hope I'm correct. It is going to happen this Friday at 6 p.m. close to, where is it? At Marston Road in District 3. and hope to see you many of there. I think the details are on our website.
7324 Edmonston Road.
Thank you for your help. All right, now we go to the exciting part, which is the If I Were Mayor, I Would MML essay contest. So just that everyone knows, every year the Maryland Municipal League, which is the body of all the 157 cities and towns in the state of Maryland, they do a essay contest among the fourth graders of all the elementary schools in the state. And this is an opportunity for our wonderful students to write essay. And that's what they did. And I had the opportunity to go to, I think, quite a few schools and talk to our students about this essay. So just to encourage them and to give them some tips. And that was fun interacting with them. And so today we see that wonderful results of their hard work. And many of them actually won, and we'll see that. At this point, I'm going to invite Ms. Barber from Youth and Family Services Department, the director, she is, to talk about the essay contest winners.
Yeah,
Thank
wonderful. Good evening. Thank you, Mr.
I
Mayor.
think I need to go to the podium, right?
Yes, please. Good evening again, Mr. Mayor, council, colleagues, residents. It is exciting, as Mayor Kabir has said. We do have 3 of our essayists who were winners at their respective schools here to read their essays this evening, and we're excited to have them come up. First up, we'll have Amelia Marie Garcias Bustos.
Hello everybody, my name is Amelia Garcia Bustos. I am a 4th grader in Hollywood Elementary School, and I'll be reading my essay, If I Were Mayor. One important tradition in my community is College Park Day. This tradition is important because it is the biggest event of the year in the city. This festival is in an airport which is the oldest continuously working airport in the world. People in my community have practiced this tradition for more than 40 years. It helps bring residents together by having different neighbors come together at this festival to celebrate my city and theirs. This tradition creates a sense of local pride, in my opinion. Over time, this tradition has changed by first being very small in size, but now it is a large, vibrant, very diverse, and super fun festival. In the past, people used to come from churches and nearby schools and would go to this festival to make souvenirs for other people. Now people go so much to the festival because it has grown so much that it now has face painting, trampolines, and other fun activities for so many people. Even though it has changed, the tradition still is an event both for the local and outside people to celebrate and go every year. If I were mayor, I would make sure this tradition can last for a good amount of years and actually open the festival up to the other people around the world. In 90 years, I imagine this tradition will be popular around the world, and I think that people from other countries would like to try College Park Day for themselves. Innovation, such as having my own jet so I can pick up people and take them to the festival, will help the community increase the popularity of the festival. For the people that cannot go, I will have other countries broadcast the festival in the theaters. This will make our community stronger because it will bring lots of money so that we can help the poor and build houses and fix roads. This tradition helps my community work better together by having a day where everybody comes together to celebrate College Park Day and have fun, but also donate to the needy. It shows that tradition is not just a memory, but it can help people come together and also help in their lives. In the future, I believe that people from all around the world will come together and make College Park Day an even bigger festival than what it is today. This will make sure that this tradition lives on for many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on there. So let me get the yeah. Good. Okay, this is for you. Is that okay? Yeah. I think the parents, if we could please come, and also the principal and the teachers. Principal Johnson, please come. Yeah, everyone should be included.
Wait.
This is both fourth grade teachers along with them.
Oh, thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. So don't go away. We'll take you to my seat, and you'll be sitting on my seat, and then bang the gavel, okay? There's a fun. Please come with me.
Madam Mayor?
And next, we'll have Rashid Samti.
Hello, my name is Rashid Samti, and I'm from Paint Branch Elementary School. Today, I'm up here to talk about If I Were a Mayor essay. If I were the mayor of College Park, my top priority would be creating a community where everyone feels proud to live in. I would focus on improving public spaces like parks and walking trails to give residents and students areas to enjoy nature and gather with friends and family. In addition, I will work closely with local schools and universities to encourage programs that connect us with the city, such as volunteer projects and community events. Another important goal would be making the city safe and more sustainable. I would push for better street lighting, safer bike lanes, and more frequent public transportation to reduce car traffic. Supporting local businesses would also be a priority because small shops and restaurants are the heart of College Park's character. By hosting seasonal festivals and supporting local art, I would strengthen the sense of community and make everyone feel welcome to our city.
The parents, please come. The family. And if there isn't a teacher, please come forward as well.
Fazul, tell me, hold up. The certificate, hold up.
Thank you. Just come with me.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashid. And our last student that'll be reading today is Daniel Sorto.
Hello, my name is Daniel Sorto, and I am from Paint Branch Elementary School. And I will be reading my If I Were a Mayor essay. Sometimes I wonder, what would I do if I were a mayor? Sometimes I think of myself becoming a mayor, and other times I decide what I will do as a mayor. So enough talking, and let's get to the things I will do as a mayor. So if I were a mayor, the first thing I would do is probably lower prices for food. The reason why I would decide to do this is because water is free, so there's no point of lowering those prices. And also, food is a need. It is highly important, so that's why I will lower food prices. The second thing I will do as a mayor is open more public libraries and more community centers. The reason for the libraries is because more students can learn more interesting words, and they need to get more reading skills. Now the reason for the community center is some people want to meet for social reasons or recreational activities, but the most important reason is to educate people. Now, the last thing I'll do as a mayor is offer after-school programs for students. The reason is so students can relieve their stress by doing their favorite hobbies, like playing soccer, reading books, and more good news clubs. In conclusion, I will lower the prices for food, open more public libraries and community centers, and offer more after-school programs. So that's all for today, and bye.
This one. We'll take photos together. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, just follow.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you all for coming, and congratulations to all the winners and the families and the teachers and the principals again. Thank you. And we actually do have another winner. It's a big winner. Ms. Barber, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm hoping there may be another opportunity, but we did have a district winner from Al Huda School who participated in the statewide activities for the MML contest winners. And that winner's name was Nusaiba Jamil from Al Huda School, which is an amazing honor. We weren't able to get that student with us here this evening, but we're still trying, and we hope to hear about their exciting adventures at the statewide recognition.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll have to get her back sometime. Thank you for your work. All right. Let's go to the next agenda item, which is the approval, amendments to an approval of the agenda. I believe there is one amendment at least. Councilmember Oates.
Thank you. I move to remove 26-G-37 regarding the letter on ADUs and bring it back for consideration at the May 5th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. This is about the amendment. Okay. Any other amendment?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I move the agenda as amended.
Second.
Amended by, moved by Councilmember Mitchell and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Mackey. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, any abstention? So the agenda has been approved minus one item. And now we go to the approval of the consent agenda, and there are three items, and let me read them out first, and then I will. Oh, yeah, actually, sorry, I missed the public comments on the consent agenda and the non-agenda items. So anyone here to speak on any of the consent agenda or non-agenda items? So here's the time to come and speak. If you have joined online, please raise your virtual hands. Please come over. Thank you. So one of the consent agenda items is the approval of the Wellesley Drive sidewalk. So if you are here to talk about that sidewalk project, this is the time to speak. Yeah, please come forward. Please state your name for the record, and if you're a resident of College Park.
My name is Juan Cruz. I am a resident of College Park Estates, specifically Wellesley.
If you could please come a little closer to the mic.
Excuse me.
All right, it's okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Juan Herrera. I am a resident of College Park Estates, specifically Wellesley Drive, where the sidewalk is proposed to be built. On behalf of the residents of Wellesley Drive, specifically just Wellesley Drive, not any of the side streets, I just want to say that we are still in opposition of a sidewalk. Although there was a survey, it did say left or right, north or south, there was not an option for no sidewalk. Aside from that little comment, one thing we are 100% in agreement is that we would like some form of traffic control devices on Wellesley Drive between Evanston and Sweetbriar, because there's a lot of cars that speed along that stretch of road, specifically PG County school buses when they're dropping off the kids and stuff. I've almost got hit by a PG County school bus picking up my kids, like walking back home. Here comes the bus doing about 35, 45 miles an hour, trying to leave to go pick up the other set of kids to drop off. As a result of that, we have the residents of Wellesley Drive have signed, and I have submitted a petition for 2 traffic calming devices. Currently, from the last status, it is in the verification stages. So I'm hoping that whenever that petition lands on your desk, that you seriously consider that, or if there's something that you can do before it lands on your desk, that would be greatly appreciated. And my resident here from College Park, if he doesn't want that stop sign camera, we, the residents of Wellesley Drive, would love to have that camera. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please next, Mr. Dorsch. State your name for the record. We know you.
That's the same name, Dave Dorsch. I'm here over half a century in College Park. 2 things I wanted to bring to the attention of the council tonight. One of them is the house at 4704 Calvert Road. It should be on the list of vacant and in need of repair, because it's been sitting there vacant for, I don't know, 6-8 months, something like that. But the city needs to sell this house. They do not need to be in the housing business. That's number one. Number two is somebody just talked about stop sign cameras. I understood that they were put up for safety purposes, but that's not what's really happening. What's happening is the city and the people that own the cameras are collecting money from the residents here that come up to the stop signs. I've been crossing these intersections, especially right here, Knox Road and so forth, for like 18 to 20,000 times, and I've never seen a problem there. So the only reason I see these cameras there is for money, and it's not money coming to me, it's going to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next, please state your name.
Hi, Ken Hanscombe, resident of College Park and College Park Estates Council, Mayor, residents, thank you. As my colleague there said, in College Park Estates, we are very strongly disagree with the building of this sidewalk. It's essentially a tax of time and money on those of us residents. Basically, I'm on a corner lot. We'll have 100+ feet of sidewalk to take care of. One resident will have probably over 200 feet because the sidewalk will curl around and be on both of her sides of her property. She doesn't speak much English. I don't even know if she understands what's happening. We've helped her out before, and she didn't understand what we were talking about, really. So I definitely oppose it. I would be in favor of some of those traffic calming measures, and I'll get with you after the meeting on that. I don't know if I'm able to talk about other items or just one. Or not.
You can actually, any non-agenda items, you can also.
It's on the agenda. The IT bid. Have you guys?
That is the consent. You can speak on that.
Okay, yeah. I'm just curious if the council is, or if the city's undertaken a IT bid since 2017. You guys used the same vendor for 9 years and haven't bid that contract out. You're using a Kentucky-based company, not a local Maryland or DMV company. Has that been looked at? Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Please come over. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hanscombe. I am a resident and I am Ken's wife. I'm at 7513 Wellesley Drive, and Mayor and council members and residents, thanks for having us. I wanted to second the comments about the sidewalk. I'm not in agreement with it either, and I don't feel like we really had a say. When the surveys came out, they were asking us which side of the road to put it on, and at that point, we didn't have an option for no build. I would have chosen no build, but that wasn't an option, so I chose the other side of the street. And it sounds like other people did that as well, and my understanding is that there was kind of a neutral or people wanted it but want on the other side. But I would argue that we didn't really get a fair question about that because we didn't have a no-build option. And if it was something that was voted on so long ago, we didn't get a say now with the current residents. And I'm not sure what that vote looked like at the time. I don't remember, but I don't think we knew the impact of Wellesley Drive at that point. So I would ask that we have another option for a different kind of engagement if there's a possibility for that. And if there's not and the sidewalk is a go, I would request that the city take care of it for shoveling. If it's such an important resource for the city, I would ask that it be taken care of just like the one on Edmonston, because I didn't buy a house with a sidewalk. It's not something that I care to take care of, and it's putting all of that work on one side of the street. And I don't know if we have other neighbors who aren't able to take care of the sidewalk. It's a big concern of mine. If we don't have the option to go no build, if we're too late in that process, I would ask that you all consider using city resources to do the shoveling and anything else needed, especially in the winter for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking. We do have, actually I saw someone online, it looks like their hand has dropped. Okay, please state your name for the record.
Hussain Waheed, Advanced Technology Acceleration. I wanted to mention that there was a chance to address City Council in Rockville and the City Council in Gaithersburg. The reason was how, if they have any decision-making algorithm for the selection of materials that are utilized in the libraries, to reach out to students. And in the discussion and the comments, it was determined that no clear-cut algorithm or decision-making solution exists at present, and the council members themselves requested more information from the Advanced Technology Acceleration Initiative for such purposes with respect to development of information that brings about transformative economic efficiency. And I pointed out that all these materials can be put together through interactive collaboration, and one of the agenda items for Columbia Association is to bring about an enhancement in their procedures for interactive collaboration. And we have put in a recommendation with respect to the guidelines for open collaboration in cities to be followed as a model. And tomorrow I'll be presenting a brief overview, the same way the comments for Tacoma Council. And let's see what comes out as consensus, and I'll share that with College Park Council in my emails. I've already sent one with respect to St. George's initiative for volunteers during the whole year, starting with the April volunteer initiative.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Actually, there are a few others. Please come forward. State your name.
Yes. Hello, my name is William Sullivan. I just wanted to extend a thank you to the city for hosting the Stargazing Night a few weeks ago. I saw one of these signs on the trail as I was going to the gym one day and decided to attend. And I was pleased to announce that on the 21st, I will be taking a group to NASA Goddard to view the Nancy Grace Roman Telescope, which has just been completed today by NASA, early and under budget. But that visit only happened because of the evening that you hosted and the wonderful connections. In attendance, we will have a high school student coming down from New York City with his family. We will have a professor of business, a professor of aerospace engineering, a student who is currently teaching as well in one of our local schools. One of our local priests will also be joining us. I've been in communication with your business development office. I did send an invitation. I understand that it's a very busy time of year. However, if that invitation cannot be taken up by your business development office, I'd be happy for a city representative or city employee to join us on the trip on Monday. Speaking of NASA, you all may be aware that budget changes are occurring at a federal level. One way to understand better what's going on at NASA is looking at the resources of the National Academy of Sciences. It's chartered by Congress to advise Congress, and currently they are mandated under the federal budget to review the science and technology of NASA. Goddard, that report is currently, the report team is currently being assembled, and then in the next 18 months or so, an assessment will be done on Goddard. That report will be public, and then from there, decisions will be made on the future of NASA Goddard, one of the major employers in our county, and of course our city benefits from that. So I did want to share that resource with the city and community members as well. Some of you have my contact information. If you'd like to join that trip on the 1st, I believe I have one more spot open. So yes.
I want to go.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for hosting that wonderful community engagement meeting. Without that, I would have not had this opportunity to bring and share with you all.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking. And yes, certainly, let's thank our staff for putting this together. Thank you. It's a great job. I think we have one more. Please come forward. State your name.
Hi. My name is Ben Wilson. I represent ownership of 9520 Baltimore Avenue. It's the old Piano Man building.
Ah.
Oh. Yeah, it's me. I'm here. Yes. Restrain yourself.
Welcome to City Hall.
Please.
Okay, hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not banging it. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So new ownership took over control of the asset relatively recently, and so we wanted to come here as the representative to just be, I guess, open a dialogue or invite the city council, whoever may have some interest in seeing the building, and as it kind of looks towards its next life, just kind of like open the dialogue and make ourselves available to a conversation with individuals or the body as a whole. So,
thank you so much for taking the time to come. And I'm sure District 1 council members are on this, and here, Councilmember Hill, both will be interested.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I know that if you allow me a point of personal privilege, I know today we're talking
Please go
about
ahead.
economic development, and I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about what you guys had in mind for the space so the whole body can hear.
yeah, definitely. So we don't actually have anything in mind at the moment. That's why we are here, because we do want to get some ideas or some guidance from the city and what the city would like to see, because it's a tremendous location. It's extremely well-known. I mean, anybody who grew up in the area or went to school, knows that building. When I say Piano Man, people know the building. But it's a great location, high visibility, and it's a unique structure. So we need some help from the city, if possible, to figure out what might work there.
Thank you. This will be the very last one. I normally don't do back and
I
forth
know.
during comments.
I'm just too excited.
So,
as long as I've been on the council, we've been trying to find someone, 16 for me.
16 years.
To find someone to take on the, and I can come and give you a hug.
Yeah.
We would love to partner with you. I know Councilman Hernandez and Hugh, we're just
Thank you.
glad to be.
You'll be getting quite a few calls.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Yeah, we welcome them.
Thank you. All the good calls. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
welcome good calls. I welcome any call. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming and
Bye-bye,
speaking.
guys.
Mr. Mayor, can we make sure he leaves his contact information with staff?
Yeah, please, if you could leave with the staff, please. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else wants to speak? I do not see any virtual hands. Seeing none, let's go to the approval of the consent agenda. We have 3 because one has been taken out. Let me read them out first, and then I will entertain a motion. The first one is 26G35, which is the selection of alignment for the Wellesley Drive sidewalk project. 26G33, which is the approval of minutes from the January 9th, 2026 administrative session and January 27, 2026 council meeting. And the last and third and last one is 26G36, which is the renewal of the contract with the Volta for IT services for the period of May 1st, 2026 to April 30, 2027 in an amount not to exceed $52,440, subject to the approval of the city attorney. And I will entertain a motion at this point to approve this consent agenda. Ms. Anderson?
Yes, we need all the council members in attendance on this vote.
We need a...
We got it. We're good.
Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that some of them had to go out. Okay, I'll entertain a motion right now.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem and seconded by Councilmember Hernandez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. Now we'll go to the presentation. There are 3 of them. The first one is about the legislation review, and this will be presented by our city lobbyist at the state legislature, Len Lucci, and his team. Mr. Lucci, thank you. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Oh, there we go. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Thanks so much for having me. I'd like to introduce to you my colleague, Portia Hurt, from our firm now. The best way to sum up this last 90 days of the session was, I guess, quote Charles Dickens, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. The worst of times was the first half. The second half was when Portia arrived in my office to help me out, and that was the best of times. It was an interesting session for 2 reasons. One is that the operating budget was a much smoother process. There were no new taxes. It was basically a status quo budget. The 2 big decisions that the legislature made with the budget, one was to restore $25 million worth of cuts to the Developmental Disabilities Administration, which still suffered cuts of $125 million. The second was to invest $20 million more in the Child Care Scholarship Program, which will result in getting rid of at least half, if not more, of the waiting list for people trying to enroll in that program. So that's a really big deal. And that only happened because of the second big change in this past session, which was the former College Park City Council member and new speaker, Jocelyn Pena-Melnick, making a big addition to the budget when it's a tough budget year is a tough thing to do. But the speaker, Pena-Melnick, ruled with a velvet glove. I mean, she was maintained the relationships with both parties and reached out to everybody, but at the same time she was very firm in what she thought needed to be done, and getting rid of a good part of that waiting list for the Child Care Scholarship Program was something she believed very strongly in. Just before the session started, she created a 7th committee. It was initially called the LEGO Committee, which stood for local government elections and government operations. And people started to say, we can't call it the LEGO Committee. So then they changed it to the Government, Labor, and Elections Committee, which is more like GLEE. So they went with GLEE over LEGO. So there was a redistribution of authority and subcommittee chairmanships and committee chairmanships and committee members, all just a month before the session began. So it made it very interesting. Speaker Pena-Melnick, as well as all of you know her as a resident of the city, is a very hands-on speaker. She was involved with just about everything. A lot of issues she had to come up to speed on very quickly, but she did, and she immersed herself into it. Most notably, the energy bill, which passed the legislature, which was a combination of a lot of different bills that got put together. The House had one version of it, the Senate had another version, and she was very, very tough in making sure that the final outcome resembled the House version much more than the Senate version. So although she is nice and kind and a nurturing person, she's also very firm and very tough, and she's going to make a great Speaker of the House. We have a presentation for you of the major pieces of legislation that will affect the city that Portia will present to you. So you probably are asking the question, well, Portia is going to make this presentation about the legislation. What am I doing here? My job is to press the button here so that each slide goes on to the next one. So that's what I'm going to do. But it's on my screen. How do I get it up there?
Here you go.
See, I'm not that perfect. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then you're making the full screen. And then to change the page, I just click that, right? No. Here, even better. That one? Got it. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. And here is our first page, and take it away, Portia.
Thank you, Len. So again, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, residents. My name is Portia Hurt, for the record, and I am Len's colleague and have been working in Annapolis on behalf of the city of College Park. I'm going to present 8 bills today. The first 5 we don't anticipate have a significant sort of fiscal impact. The last 3 we do, and I'll just give a high-level overview of what we think those impacts are, but I will be making sure that Kenny, Laura, and the team have more complete information about sort of what we think that the fiscal impacts are, and we're happy to answer any questions, but I'm going to keep it relatively high level, but if you have any specific questions, we can work on answering those, okay? So the first bill is SB 255, which is the Voting Rights Act. So how it works is basically, as you can see on this, the screen, prohibiting the imposition or application of a method for electing the governing body of a county or municipal corporation that impairs the ability of the members of a protected class to elect candidates of the members' choice. So this has to do with, again, these are voter protections that the legislature has been trying to put in place for about the last 3 years. For the state effect, the general fund expenditures may increase depending on what the Office of the Attorney General undertakes on the measure, but we don't expect it to have a local material effect on finances. Next is HB 1178. Oh, and by the way, just so that I'm clear, these are all bills that passed. There were other bills that we were monitoring for the city, but they did not make it to the governor's desk. So just to be clear, these are all bills that were passed and have either been signed by the governor or will be signed by the governor within the next couple of days to weeks. So HB 1178, prohibiting a municipality from annexing land that is located in a different legislative district than the legislative district in which the municipality is located, without talking to that municipality first, members of the General Assembly who represent that municipality. So I guess it's, trying to make sure that people don't step on each other's toes. Again, this is not going to have a material state or local effect, nor a small business effect. So we were just monitoring it to make sure that we could report on it, that it was something that's going to go into effect. But it won't have a material effect, either financially or otherwise. Next. HB 1448. So again, these are election protection issues. So this is reporting of information to the state board. So it's requiring a municipality to submit to the State Board of Elections the qualifications to be a candidate for each office on the ballot in a municipal election, the date of a special election in each office of the special election ballot, and some other measures. Again, the state effect the bill can be implemented with existing state resources, and it also is not expected to materially affect local government finances. Next. SB 848. Again, more reporting requirements for the State Board of Election. Same effect, the bill can be implemented with existing resources at the state level, and it is not expected to materially affect local governments. HB 1142. I think we've sent over a lot of information about this bill to you all. This is the Task Force to Modernize County and Municipal Revenue Structures from Delegate Wilson. So this has already been signed by the governor. And it is actually, the state will implement this. So it won't affect revenues quite yet until they get the results of the report of the task force. So we will continue to monitor what that looks like throughout the life of the task force implementation once they do the study, and then after that we will probably have to come back to give you more information on that. HB 1504. Okay, so those are the 5 that we anticipate will not have sort of a local impact, whether financial or otherwise. But again, the last 3 that we'll be talking about will have some sort of financial impact. And again, so this one is highways, sideways, and bicycle pathways, construction and reconstruction. So this is requiring the State Highway Administration to prioritize certain funding for the construction and reconstruction of sidewalks and bicycle pathways. And so what we anticipate with this one is that it won't necessarily result in an increased expenditure, but it will change the formula for how municipal and state funds come together. So the State Highway Administration, the way that they currently fund local projects will change. And again, we'll make sure that you have the meat of this because it's a little bit complicated. They offer what the current formula is, and then they show how the formula mix will change within the fiscal note. So I'll make sure that you have that. And again, that's not necessarily to say that there'll be an increase in expenditure. It's just the mix of how the state and local fundings come together may change. HB 135. Authorizing the governing body of a political subdivision to designate certain non-contiguous blighted areas as development district. So this is actually something where the bill expands the authority of local jurisdictions under the Tax Increment Financing Act to include non-contiguous blighted areas, which may increase overall use of the act to facilitate development in that area. And so this has the possibility for revenue increase is the way that the Department of Legislative Services analyzed this bill. And again, I will make sure that you have more written detail on this. This will also potentially have a major small business effect, which is another analysis that the Department of Legislative Services does. Small businesses in and adjacent to blighted areas potentially benefit from additional spending by local governments under the Tax Incremental Financing Act. Small businesses that provide construction and related services also potentially benefit from additional demand for their services. So that's part of their analysis as well. So again, this is not guaranteed. increased revenue, but it's the possibility based on the analysis. And then the very last one is Mason's Law. Again, I think that there have been a lot of questions about that because this does institute a mandate for local jurisdictions. So let me just get you more information on that. So the effect is the potential significant increased expenditures for most of or all municipal governments to implement the updates to drains and inlets as mandated by the bill. What the analysis has been from both Department of Legislative Services and from MML is that the expenditure would be mostly upfront to sort of examine what the drainages look like now, decide what needs to happen, and then implement the new requirements. So the new requirements implement in 2031 or 2032? 2032. And so again, what the analysis has been is that this will not be ongoing revenue requirements, but will be a high initial investment issue. Those are all the bills that have passed that we have been following for the city. I'm happy to answer any questions. And then after that, Lynn is going to talk about the capital budget.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I see some hands raised, starting with, I don't know who first, Councilmember Mitchell, and then Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Lynn, and thank you. Nice to meet you this evening.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you did this session for College Park. If there first is a ask, for most of my colleagues, this is their first session dealing with Annapolis and legislation and the report that we get. Is there any way to do a summation in layman terms in regards to each of the bills that you talked about, so if a resident asks us, we can be able to articulate in a conversation with them what does it mean with this bill?
So like a two-liner.
Yeah, something like that. That will help us out. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Second, I'm going to go to the bill 1142.
1142.
I know you said it didn't have any financial implications, but for me, it does raise implications in regards to how the task force will be created, as well as who will have a seat at the table in the task force. How many will be from municipalities? So I just wanted to ensure that this is a great win for us, but at the same time, if there's not enough municipalities from each quarter of the state, it's not going to be a win for Prince George's County if we're not at the table.
Sure, and I will go back and review sort of the policy note to see, because this is an operation of the Department of Legislative Services, so they think that they can handle the staffing requirement with the existed sort of budgeting resources, but I don't think they themselves have figured out sort of how that's going to work. But I'll make sure that that I note your concerns and see how we can have our input in the process. Okay. Yeah.
And the last, just going by the last bill, SB 189.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know this is Senator Young coming out of Frederick, so I think I just have concerns and great pause in regards to, is it going to be more of a financial impact to us versus them? So you may not be able to answer that, but I don't.
Right. And I think that that's a hard sort of question to quantify, because I don't know how many drainage situations we have in College Park versus what they have in Frederick. But it is true that the more drainage inlets and systems that you have, the more it will cost you, both sort of initially to study and see what the current conditions are, and to also do the construction and so that's absolutely true, that the more you have, the more it will cost, and there are places that may not have as many. So one of the things that happens though is that once a bill is written, and of course you guys know this process is the same process here. once the legislature is done with it, we may be able to have sort of input about how the regs are written. So there's also that process as well. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you very much again. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Before I go to Mayor Pro Tem, so again on the same bill, SB 189. So drainage inlets, these are managed by WSSC, right? Why the utility? Why a municipality needs to take care of them?
That I cannot answer. I don't.
What is the logic?
The city, I'm sure, has its own stormwater management system in addition to what WSSC operates, and that would come under this as well.
So these only relate to the ones that city manage. Is that correct?
Right, because it has the mandate on municipalities, so it would just be the city's stormwater management operations.
And to be clear, Mr. Mayor, there's a list of definitions, and I think that when they say open drainage inlet, and then they have privately owned, so they have a list of when it applies and when it doesn't. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
You can pass because my colleague asked my question.
Oh, thank you. Councilmember Ors and then Councilmember Hugh. Councilmember Hugh, please go ahead.
Thank you for your report on this. For my colleagues that aren't aware of some of the open drains, the obvious ones in District 1 is on Narragansett. District 3 would be Guilford. They would have open drains that we would have to address there. Has there been any sort of discussion of what kind of remedies that they're looking for? What kind of precautions, right? I see list them, but inventory them. But other than that, I'm just wondering because we have our own challenges of trying to keep them clear for when there are storms. And I'm not sure if there would require grates or something that would make it more challenging. So is there any information on that?
Yeah, from what I see, I believe there is a great requirement, but let me make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn.
If I remember correctly, it is drainages that have greater than a 12-inch opening, and so there's a requirement for an inventory first, then a grate installation or fencing to protect the area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Let's go to Councilor Ors first and then Councilor Hernandez. You don't have a question? Oh, thank you. Hernandez.
Hi, thank you. One of the bills that passed was the one that allowed us to designate areas of development.
Yes.
Could you expand on that just a little bit? Does that mean that the city can identify an area or a zone and say, hey, we need to give some additional support to this particular area?
So just to be clear, this is the one about the blighted areas, right? Designated for redevelopment. Just 1 second.
What's the number? I don't know. Please.
That is H. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, tax increment financing, non-contiguous areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the city already has the power to use the tax increment financing for areas it deems to be blighted. But sometimes they're not adjacent to one another. In this sense, you could package them together in one TIF zone rather than having to have separate ones because they're not contiguous.
I see. Okay, great. And then the other question I had was on the HB 1504, the highways, sidewalks, and bicycle pathways. This is going to require SHA to prioritize certain funding for construction and reconstruction of sidewalk pathways that are adjacent to highways. Would that include Maryland 193 and or I-495?
I don't know about I-495 because of the federal nature of it, but definitely State Route 193, US 1.
US 1 also, right? All
Right.
Route 1 that we have here?
Which is important because the last
Absolutely.
phase is still on the books and ready to be going to the next phase. And so,
And we're excited to have that.
so this is a good time for this bill to take place. It was named after Delegate Healy because for her 36 years in the House, she kept pushing the State Highway Administration. You have to make sidewalks part of what you're planned, and they often gave her a deaf ear. So she got her bill passed. She was, to her surprise, the committee named the bill after her, and she was just very taken aback and honored by that. But it kind of is a capstone to her 36 years of advocacy in the House, telling the State Highway Administration, please stop forgetting about the sidewalks when you do these projects.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic opportunity, and hopefully one that you're going to talk to us a little bit about, Mr. Lanucci, because there's capital for North Route 1?
Right.
All right, sir.
Thank you. There is a CIP budget for
And then
design.
so the last page of the handout has to do with what's in the capital budget, and of course, having the chair of the House Appropriations Committee and from College Park and the vice chair of the Senate Budget and Taxation Committee. As a resident of College Park, there's the words College Park often appear frequently in the capital budget. And we listed the University of Maryland projects in the bottom there, even though that's not direct impact on the city. It's in the city limits, and we can't ignore it. The key thing I think here, though, is the huge investment that the governor continues to focus with making College Park the quantum capital of the nation, if not the world, and is making huge investments in both the INQ and then the whole infrastructure over in the Discovery District. And that really, everything else, and you look at the rest of the budget, really pales compared to his investment in the city, in the Discovery District for the quantum initiative. And that's just a big deal. It's such a big deal that I'm going to have to find out what quantum actually means, because I don't really have any idea. But we'll find that out next time we see you. Anyway, so that's that. We're always in a good position to make requests for capital budget projects for the city because of Senator Rosa Pepp and Delegate Barnes, and they're always saying, what can we do to help College Park? And of course now with Speaker Pina Melik, it makes it even better. But unfortunately it raises the expectations for Portia and I to perform because of this outsized influence that the city has with its residents in Annapolis. So we're glad once again to represent the city. It's an honor to represent the city, and we're always glad and available to meet with you between sessions and get your input into helping you out with crafting an agenda for next year that we can work with you on. And we're always very excited and happy to work with both all of you as well as your very competent, capable city staff.
Thank you. Thank you. That I'm glad that you mentioned it. The three of the 4 members of the 21st delegations live in College Park, including the senator, and the other big deal is the Speaker of the House is now a College Park resident.
And the other person I left out is the 4th member of the delegation, Mary Lehman, who's the new chair of the subcommittee on local government. So all legislation that has to do with local government before it goes through the House of Delegates goes before her. So that's a further plus.
And the chair of the Appropriation Committee, Ben Barnes, is also College Park resident. So.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, Councilmember Mitchell mentioned that this may be the first time that some folks on the council are going through the 90-day session, which ended last Monday. We are happy to sort of do a 101 or a run-through on, what the legislature does, how the process works, how we can push the city's agenda, et cetera.
Oh, certainly. Thanks for your help. Councilor Simmons, do you have a question?
I do. Are we still doing questions?
Please go ahead. Yes.
Thank you. I did have a couple of questions. I will try to keep them brief. One is just for my knowledge, I know you had a tracking sheet of all of the various bills that we were keeping an eye on. Is that something that you're going to kind of report out where things landed and perspective for next year, things that haven't, that did not end up passing that you think might be making moves in the future?
Yes, we'll do it.
Okay, excellent. I did have a question about a bill that was not on here. I know that Good Cause, it seemed like there was some movement toward the end of the session. I don't know if you can briefly just give us an update on where that landed.
I'm sorry, on what?
The Good Cause bill.
Oh, it passed the House as it has before, and it was a victim of the clock that it didn't get through the Senate. But it's a huge project of Delegate Wilkins, and it has been for many years, and it made it further than it has before. And it was a victim, as were other pieces of legislation, of last-minute friction between the two houses of the legislature.
So it didn't cross over.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think it did cross over. It just didn't get acted upon by the Senate. The chair of the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee said for the first time that the new chair of the House Judiciary Committee sent him so many bills, more than ever before, that he just couldn't deal with all of that after the crossover date. So he was very selective which bills he brought up for a vote.
Yeah, so large volume.
All right, one final question. I know that you all are doing a lot of good work for the city of College Park, so I was wondering if you could tell us about one thing that you and your office accomplished for the city during the legislative session outside of the capital budget that you think is particularly impactful.
I think it has to do with the Youth Services Bureau. In the past, there's been legislation that would directly increase the funding for them, and the city is one of the very few cities left in the state that has a Youth Services Bureau. And that was never successful because they're saying you're trying to legislate outside the budget. So instead, we worked with the Maryland Association of Youth Services Bureaus to set up a fund to help out youth who are at risk. And that bill actually passed the House. But it was such a new thing that we weren't able to get it through the Senate. But I think that was progress that was made, and then hopefully next year it'll come to fruition and it will help out the city's Youth Services Bureau and having additional funding, because I mean, it came to our attention and we shared it with our representatives, with your representatives down there, that it's really the only bilingual Youth Services Bureau in the state, so it attracts an outsized clientele, and so it needs extra help. And so that bill that passed the House, I think, is going to be a great vehicle to bring attention to that and hopefully get it all the way through next year.
That's really helpful. I think if there's anything else like that that kind of falls in a line of, we worked specifically on this and saw some movement or some impact, that would be really helpful to understand as well. So thank you.
In that case, I have a second one to tell you. There was a bill that passed the House that I know has been important to the city, which is to say that automobiles and other motorized vehicles cannot obstruct bike paths and bikeways. And that bill made it out of the House this year with new leadership in the House, but unfortunately fell victim to this back and forth between the two chairs, and so it did not come to a vote in the Senate, even though it crossed over in time. But I think it got enough interest that that's another one that's a good one for us to take the next step next year.
Good, very important. Thank you. Second bite?
Yes, last question. Mr. Lucci, I know that in years past, at least 2 years ago, we made some significant progress to get phase 2 of Route 1 completed. I'm wondering what, if any, movements do we have this year, and what do you need so that we can be successful next year in securing the remaining funding? I know that a portion is heavily, I think it's like a percentage if we have to put up, but I just want to know where we stand on that.
Sure. I mean, it obviously receives forceful advocacy from our representatives, but as you know, how the Transportation Trust Fund is spent in the different projects is really, the legislature doesn't have direct input over that. It's done pretty exclusively by the Secretary of Transportation, although they definitely, when he has his budget up, say, well, we need this if you need that. I mean, so there's a lot of advocacy that happens behind the scenes on it. The problem is that the Transportation Trust Fund still needs a long-term revenue jolt because gas tax revenues keep going down and electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles keep going up. And that's how most of the Transportation Trust Fund is funded, is through the gas tax. And there have been some small fee increases or some big fee increases too for the Motor Vehicle Administration to help try and replenish the Transportation Trust Fund. But those are really just short-term things. They really need to rethink how it's going to go forward. And you know, there's some ideas that are kind of make sense, but when you talk about them, people shudder. For instance, the vehicles miles traveled provision, where you pay based on how many miles you travel, which kind of makes sense because that's what causes the problems with the road. But what that means is everybody would have some kind of device in their car that the state would know about, and that causes all sorts of other issues. So there's a real struggle to find out how is the state going to replenish and keep the Transportation Trust Fund healthy. And until they do that, it's going to be really tough for them to come up with funding or extending new construction projects because of that.
Thank you. It's very helpful to understand the problem so that we can try to work a solution.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you so much. Looks like you'll be getting back to us with more information.
Sure.
Thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you.
And policy. Thank you. So our next presentation is on the annual economic development report, and this will be presented by our Director of Economic Development, Mr. Michael Williams, and his team.
Make sure you get the right one.
Or you can sit over there, that chair. Thank you.
Please introduce.
Are we up?
Introduce first. If you could please introduce your team first, that would be helpful.
We up?
We see some new faces.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm pleased to be here tonight to talk a little bit about what's going on in our economy. I'm joined by our Economic Development Coordinator, Ms. Rihanna Barr, who's a 22 graduate of the University of Maryland, and Ms. Marie Brodsky, who is the CEO and owner of Wise Connect, who's helping us reach out and develop programs for our 55-plus age group, which we have about, our reports say we got about 6,000 residents that are at the age 55-plus category. So I'll get through it as fast as possible for questions. We had a robust 2025, a piece of 26 of the first quarter looks good as well. We're starting to develop this name and following of Capital or Quantum, so happy to see if someone is in on that. For just an overview, I want to kind of take us an overview of the city, then kind of go a little bit into what we do every day to service our residents and the businesses as well as visitors, and then come back and finalize it by talking about some of the challenges that we have. We have about, so the big story for pretty much a year and a half or two has been the federal layoffs. We identified about over 1,100 residents that are full-time federal employees living here in the city of College Park. We were able to work with Mr. Young and Mrs. Kaisha Barber to implement some emergency funding for residents who were affected by that. And then also former Mayor Pro Tem and now Council Member Denise Mitchell. She has a board affiliation with the Council of Governments, COG, and we were able to partner and collaborate with COG on a new AI job search tool called Talent Capital. And that's been a big help to not only our residents, but it's a regional resource where the universities, colleges, nonprofit groups, workforce development agencies, and other economic development agencies are identifying opportunities for federal employees that are in search of new employment. Also listed here is the federal buildings, the federal buildings that we have located here in the city of College Park. You may see some of them bleed over to Riverdale Park in the Discovery District, but I just wanted to list those. As of right now, I have no information on any transactions by the GSA, Government Services Administration. So those are the properties. Just wanted to kind of show where we are. Right now, many of them are closed and vacant. But if there's any activity in terms of a sale, you'll be the first to know. Announcements, we have formally registered College Park Community Development, CDC Corp. It'll have an arm's distance relationship with the city. We will launch that with the help of Ms. Stephanie Anderson, our city attorney. We're going to get the board initiated and name names, and then take it from there. We had created this CDC with hopes of working and focusing in on this North College Park side, but it is here for all of College Park. Big retail number out of the Maryland State Department of Commerce says that we reached $600 million again. In 2024, it was $622 million in retail sales. That goes into auto sales, groceries, hotel, motel stays. It's just retail receipts, if you will. We don't receive much of that, but it is a strong indication of the commerce area that the city of College Park is. We had a nice little feather in our cap earlier in the year when we received we went in for the recertification of Sustainable Maryland, and we scored a perfect 50 points and the most in our group. For the subject area of innovative demonstration projects, I don't want to read it all to you, but it's something that we took a big pride in to be able to contribute to our sustainability efforts. We all know in District 2 the $200 million Rambler project, which is moving at gangbuster speed. They're doing very well there. Just on a weekly basis, you can almost drive by and see the improvements. Right now, to date, just that they're reporting 486 workers, men and women, thus far, and there are more construction disciplines that will be on site, and I'll get you some updates on those numbers, and hopefully it can separate the genders so that we can focus in a little bit more on that. But this is what I have now. Of course, the Taste of College Park, this will be our third try at it, 2026 in July. We started last year in July with 15 businesses participating. In January 2026, we came back with the winter session, had 20 businesses participating. Some people ask about why weren't more discounts offered, and I was able to counter with that and say that several of our merchants are working themselves and with part-time staff or no staff. So we'll do a little bit better job at trying to get some dollar participation in terms of discounts, but it's a very exciting taste of College Park, and we're going to continue to push on and get more participation in there. Big thanks to Cal Laugase, owner of Iron Rooster, for the advertisement that we were able to get on the Baltimore-based channels, news channels, as well as the DC-based news channels. You heard a lot about the state funding coming through just in the presentation that just went away with Lynn Lucci and his partner. But we scored big this time. Since my tenure here, we haven't gotten an allocation for economic development specifically, from the state, and we got over $1 million that we're going to split between Stone Straw. So I believe Stone Straw has been allocated $500,000 in the Guilford Road lot. When we determine the proper uses for that, it'll be about $625,000. Notable transactions I won't read to you because you can read. Berwyn, really hyped up. Nomi Hamid, the owner of Virtual X Kitchen and Crazy Kebab, acquired 3 properties from the Jenkins estate. Those properties in most of downtown Berwyn, as I've referred to it as downtown Berwyn, where the path meets and all. We'll see some pictures later on. These properties have been under control for about 40 years, and we now have a chance to partner with Mr. Hamid and renovate or revitalize that area, and I'm very excited about that. Over there in the Apple Tree Daycare Center, the significance of even listing them is that many of our merchants don't own their properties and the spaces where they rent and work from. Mr. Shahid Hafiz purchased the Apple Tree Daycare Center property back right at Thanksgiving time in 2025. A big shout out to him. He's been a good partner of ours, and we expect to partner with him on some of the activities that go on at the intersection of Rhode Island Avenue and Edgewood Road. Hudspot, you know that the Milkboy Art House, we had Secretary Day come over and visit that spot for the Project Restore 2.0 recipient. It's 14,000 square feet. It's going to be really look nice, and they're building out some performance space on the second floor. There will also be some gaming activities up there on the second floor. So we look forward to really working with the owner, David Chen, with his bubble tea concept. Stone Straw, the biggest news, oftentimes we're talking about restaurants and maybe a hotel here or some venue. We actually have good news to report on our industrial sites, which are very important to us in terms of what we use and how many folks that we can employ. Architectural Utilities Incorporated, AUI Power, is basically a utility company that produces power stations and work on power outages. You may have seen trucks go way up in there in a big white bucket to restore power throughout our neighborhoods. They're moving out of Capitol Heights, Maryland, to come to us. 72,000 square foot building that they had taken a portion of. So there were 3, I'll back up, there are 3 parcels inside of Stone Straw, and this one is 7 acres. The next is pretty much one of the biggest transactions and deals that in my tenure, 4.5 years, that we've done. Chevy Chase Contractors, not many times have we been able to, in the county or in the state, anywhere, where a Montgomery County business has come to Prince George's County and specifically the city of College Park. And so kudos to owner Carlos Fernandez for coming in. The purchase of his 2 buildings and lots was $6 million. Owner Mark Solomon and I talked several times, and we had Mark here visiting a couple years ago, and a lot of people wondered aloud, why are we here? We were here because that Stone Yard industrial site is so important to us. And also Chevy Chase Contractors finally will have somewhere between 75 and 100 Prince George's County residents as employees. I will get you to count on how many of those are College Park employees as soon as they're available. Both of these companies are going through the entitlements process, so don't know when they get to occupy and it gets a little closer to launch, you'll be the first to know. 4 acres of tree canopy remains in the hands of the original owner, Mark Solomon. We will continue to talk to Mr. Solomon about the use of that tree canopy. Hopefully there's something in it for us and we can leverage those funds that came from the state. visitors in College Park, we had a little decline from 2024. These are the 2025 numbers supplied by the Maryland Department of Transportation. And I believe, and if my take on it is that we had some huge football games in 2024. We had home games of Penn State. We had home games of USC. Remember the big victory over USC that we won. And then I believe we had Michigan or Michigan State. So those are huge games, brought in huge traffic, as well as our hotels. We have 9 hotels in, and even though we always may look at the hotel as well as Cambria, but the Holiday Inns are doing very well and they're healthy. And so just give you an idea of how the weekday vehicular traffic comes in, and hopefully we can get them to stay a little bit longer and spend more money. The WMATA map, we try to give, or Lynn, we actually want to offer some context to affordability. So what I did was took a look at the Metro WMATA transit map to give the reader a sense of the area and the region and the neighborhoods and the names of different places within in our Beltway region and community. And so with that, what we did was collaborated with our multiple listing service, their chief economist office. We came up with zip codes at each metro station, but for 2. That was Arlington Cemetery and Bethesda Naval Medical Center. So these are zip codes affiliated with each stop. And as you can see, College Park on this one here, we rank 11th, and I think we rank even higher when you just go Prince George's County. We are affordable, but it's a tale of 2 cities, of course. We also are very much concerned with the student rental rates here. And so there's a lot to talk about here. Many times, I think, with the student rental apartments and in the investment community, these are basically the most desired Wall Street deals, paying off and cash flowing at all times during the year. And you've probably seen some of the students having to even sign 12-year leases, and that's because of the cash flow. And I guess anyone that owns the paper will tell you they're just meeting the demand, although we do think that the pricing is really outrageous. Down below in the blue area, I have, we listed the flats at Atworth just because they're tax credit properties, income restricted. Atworth notably was financed with Amazon Housing Trust Fund dollars, and coming soon on the right side. Oh, I'm sorry, go back over Branchville Crossing. We're coming soon with a senior tax credit deal. I believe they're going to go 4% state tax credits with that. And coming soon to Mark and some of the deals and planning deals that you've heard from different developers already. The Rambler, the Discovery Point is coming, with the grad students. Don't have much to do with that because I believe it's university property anyways. And Aviation Landing, which is coming forth. I wanted to list, not necessarily recommend, but list that the Cato Housing Group, founded by a university student, a UMD student, is listing several apartments and reviews and giving students perhaps a cheaper alternative to find subleasing options and roommates that they may not be able just to go out and find. So it's become a great tool, and that's the feedback that we're getting, that it's really good. Partnerships, as I said, we're with Marie Brodsky talking about Wise Connect. She founded it helping her granddad, who speaks Russian only at the time, and he was looking for connection information for medical, social, and other kind of activities, and Marie created Wise Connect to help identify what activities were around. Very well noted. She launched it with the Fairfax County Economic Development Group, and then some others, but we have her here now, and we're going to, this is our first year using Wise Connect, and we just look forward to using it some more. I think in the coming years, it'll be something that all our residents will use, or most of our residents will use. Again, we're trying to reach out to 6,000 residents that are identified as age 55 plus. The Rambler, a very proud moment for Dr. Esters and Mrs. Whitney, who used to be D2 representatives. They went in as Campus Village closed down and really demanded recognition for the Lakeland community. And from that, there's a 3,000 square foot space that's being dedicated by LV Collective out of Austin, Texas, the builders of the Rambler, to dedicate some space, community space to Lakeland. And so very happy to talk about that. We also had all constantly throughout the winter, the local artists who were putting up the murals, and it was fantastic to see that as the project was going forth. The Flats, Phil Sardis, who owns Sardis Restaurants, is running the flat, is running Food for Maryland. So we're happy to have a space for him inside the flat, so that commercial space will be used for food preparation, not a restaurant, but just for food preparation, to get foods and boxed and out to the needy and most of all our residents who need it, and then Prince George's County as well. Some of the partnerships we don't talk about a lot, but we do a lot, and that is working with the MNC PPC for the entitlement process to our new businesses and our old businesses. We work with DPI a lot to make sure that our businesses understand what's expected of them, and then we even bring them in and work with our public service unit, Mr. Kokar. Again, big kudos to PNC Bank. When we needed it most, they helped us out with the Purple Line construction. They basically, Purple Line construction basically cut off the area in D4 where the Domain residences are. There's some retailers over there. The streets were not only chewed up, but they were actually cut off. They were shut down. So we were able to get some help for them, and we look forward to trying to do it again to get more help for them, for those businesses over at the Domain. Business assistance programs, you know all about it because you passed the legislation, and we're in the budget process asking for each one. A Project Restores, the state, DHCD, all the others are kind of homebound for us. The districts, the awards by the district, District 1, District 3, we see District 4. We did do the PNC dollars in District 4, but that's not there. District 2, I expect a big shift if we're able to partner with Nomi Hamid to help out with the revitalization of what I term as downtown Berwyn. So new businesses, DHL, we know Samosas and Spirits came in. We're happy to have them. Paddle Garden is here with us tonight and represented tonight by Linda Carter, attorney. The others, we all know, we all eat there all the time, so no need to go to there. Just want to highlight some of the opportunity zones for the federal government and the tax treatment when businesses move over to opportunity zones. The RISE zones, Regional Institution Strategic Enterprise Zones. That was created by the state to attract tech startups. And what happened was the first 5 years, the funds were only to be used to buy a place of business for the tech startups. What we found out was that no, tech startups will rent some space, but they're not going to buy it because they want to use all their money to do creation and work and invest in their technology. So went back a year or so ago and got the state to kind of rejigger the rental, go to rental assistance, and so that is something that we are constantly working on with our partners. That's UMD, PGEDC, and as well as Riverdale Park is part of the nexus there. Tax credit revitalization, most of you were part of the amendments that we made to include adult daycare facilities, active lifestyle, amusements. You got all that stuff going. The map on the right side just gives you some indications of where those tax credit districts are and we will just happy to have them and can't wait to get into it. I will say this, we only have one active applicant right now that we're paying out for tax credits. And I believe that is, I thought it was Gilbane, but I think it's Bozzuto. And we're paying them, and that's the project down the street here at Astor and where Trader Joe's is located. Virtual Visitor Center, one of the biggest steps that I feel like we need to make. So this year, as I said, we have 9 hotels, and we had 2 hotels report over 850 events, meetings, and conferences. What we want to do is be able to mint those visitors to stay longer, spend more money, and we're now trying to construct a virtual visitor center. It's a little ways off, but we're in the midst of it, trying to work it, and we have seen these virtual visitor centers in the areas of Charles County, Howard, and Talbot, St. Michael's as well. Just wanted to acknowledge one more time the Tourism Advocate of the Year, Mayor Pro Tem Maria Mackey. We had a blast that night. The state tourism conference was actually hosted here in College Park at the hotel. So we had a good time, and afterwards you see another picture where she was with 2 revelers, and they were really cool that night. It was a good time. We went up to the top floor, the top 7s, and the hotel. A lot of good music, and it was fun. So, Ms. Mackey, thank you for the championing the tourism piece for us, and we look forward to really trying to play it again. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Challenges, as I round out, we have some properties up, and I offered some pictures, some shots there. But the Hollywood corridor, we want to see it more commercial, the facade, better treatment there. Metropolitan Lot, many of us kind of slept on that. That's a D2 property that lays out right at Cherokee Street and Baltimore Avenue. 2 council members, Jordan and Simmons, we have a meeting coming up. Mr. Young does on, I believe, this week with the ownership of Metropolitan Lot, and to get some more information on where they are going and what their intentions are for that property. Probably the hardest job I have right now is saying we're getting there for Shoppers Food Warehouse. So 32,000 square feet was left vacant on November 8th. We are talking every day with ownership, the Michaels Group of the shopping center. I will say last year, and I should track it to 2024, and in the shopping center, the Marketplace Shopping Center, there were 2.1 million cars that visited that shopping center in 2024. We know that there was a substantial drop-off because of the Shoppers outlet, but also it has been anchored very well with Ross Dress for Less, as well as the Home Depot shopping store. So we're happy that it's functional. I expect some announcements. I just cannot say when, but here's the good news. We know that the ownership of the mall is only talking to another grocery chain. We're trying to fill the 32,000 square feet. We do not want to subdivide those 32,000 square feet. That calls for more zoning, more money. That's probably well over $1 million to start subdividing that space. We'd like to get a name brand grocery store in there, something national. And I do believe, and based on my conversations, I do believe that's going to happen. I just cannot tell you next week or next month. Berwyn Midtown, again, Nomi Hamid, we'd get there. So just wanted to share some pictures. That's Hollywood there, Edgewood in Rhode Island, the Saab property. This is a great shot of Berwyn downtown. A couple of the homes that and venues, that properties that Mr. Hamid purchased, and we're going to try to stimulate that area and work with him as a partner in that. This is the corner of Cherokee and Baltimore Avenue, where Metropolitan owns that. Again, we'll be meeting with them this week to talk about what's going on. Again, those are the challenges. I want to end out by saying we have an influx of tax dollars on the way. These were just estimated values, but I guess at some point we can all start a dialogue about the strategic plan and what to do with those dollars. Is it for annexation? Is it for student assistance, aging in place, new single-family development? And just in terms of what are your ideas and what should be done as we are getting influx of tax dollars. So I tried to go as fast as I could, and thank you very much. I can take any questions.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, I'm sure there will be lots of questions. Try to focus on the larger pictures in the city instead of new ideas. I mean, all ideas are good ideas. I'm not saying which is good, which is not good, but let's focus on the larger picture first. In that way, we can cover the economic development in the entire city. And I want to thank you again, Mr. Williams and the team, for doing a fantastic job. Can I do a round of applause for them? Thank you. All right, who's going to go first? Mr. Hugh, I think I saw your hands. Please go ahead.
Yes, just had a quick question about the Shoppers shopping center there. Have you got any news from, I guess it's Sardis that has the Terrapin Station, their plans to reopen that? Because that was also another large part of the vitality of that shopping center, and it's one of the few places in the North College Park that's sort of a third space that people can go out and eat and drink and get entertainment. So it's empty now, all not being utilized for the public service that it was intended for.
You're asking me if I've heard anything about the reopening, correct?
Yes, sir, their plans.
Okay, so the plan is right now, Sardis, as you know, closed up their restaurant, but they also own the next door, the restaurant next door, the Italian restaurant that's next door there. The Italian restaurant next door. So what I've been told is that Mr. Sardis is actually using the space for catering meals for our troops, our National Guard, and those meals are he's delivering just about 60,000 meals a day, and that space is being used currently right now, and so he wants to reopen as an establishment, just as a bar and a restaurant. I think right now he's under contract to perform and have those meals out every day. So I speak with him probably weekly, and
So
when
he
those changes come, I'll let you know. But for right now, he's using it as a catering location.
So when I last spoke to him, to them, the contract was ending, I think, around March, and they were applying for a second contract. So they received their second contract?
Yes, you're absolutely right. He was ending that contract in March, and he got called back. He thought he was going to start talking about something else and going somewhere else. They called him back and asked him to fill more orders, and extend his agreement with the federal government.
It just really disappoints me because that wasn't intended use for that space.
I agree with the loss. I don't agree with the decision to use the space for something else. Here's the problem again, and it goes back to also Shoppers. We know, and I use that Shoppers as well because I live in College Park. We know that that we want those vacancies filled. Please be advised, one of the better things that are happening that we don't see is that both Sardis and both Shoppers, they're still currently paying their rent. They're still in front of their leases, and they're still obligated to pay their leases, which makes the shopping center owner able to pay his tax bill to the city of College Park. I'm not trying to oversimplify the fact that we have a vacancy here that we want to see filled with more, but I do want to tell kind of like the other side of the story. So that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Councilmember Hill. Any other? Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Michael, and your team for your report. It was very informative, a lot of information. But I'm going to veer real to the right. And this is something that has been a subject of somewhat of distress for many of our residents from District 1 to 4. We had discussions many years ago when you first started, Mr. Williams, in regards to Starbucks. And we still haven't seen any type of pivot from them in regards to the traffic. And I'm only bringing this up as there is an empty space in Shoppers, and they're going to be looking at whoever purchased that. This will be a win-win for us to bring this back to the table, because it's still a traffic issue. There's still people who are not going down that way, or because of the congestion, and the buildup on Route 1 and Cherry Hill Road. So I know I'm really deviating, but I didn't figure out what opportunity to bring that up.
Thank you. I do want to just say quickly, we were hot and heavy with the state highway trying to make some adjustments to Cherry Hill Road, and then the Shoppers folks did renovate the interior to add another window for drive-through. That still didn't do too much for what we all are concerned about, and that's that traffic up there. So I'll respond by saying that we will get back and make this a priority with Starbucks. That's what I'll say to you.
Thank you.
No, and I appreciate that, but they don't have two windows. They still have the one window.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Starbucks junkie, so I can tell you each Starbucks which one it is, where it at. But it's just, yes, I can get investments.
Yeah. One thing, and Mr. Williams, I think you've probably been in touch with our city engineer, Mr. Halpern. He has been in touch with the projects that you talked about, the projects on Cherry Hill Road, and I think that project already started. I saw yesterday. The configuration of the lanes on Cherry Hill Road, close to Route 1. And I believe one of the ideas is to add a dedicated lane into the shopping center.
Right.
So that will probably alleviate some of the congestion issues we have.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Ms. Mitchell, we will be in touch with you and
I
follow up
appreciate
with
it,
this.
Mr. Wynn. I just came from there. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting our businesses.
Absolutely.
I see quite a few hands. Let's do the first round. My apologies. Who was the first? It's Councilor Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, please go ahead, Councilmember.
Let me begin, Director Williams, by thanking you. I feel like the first time that you made one of these presentations about 3 years ago, I was up here enthusiastic about trying to find opportunities to get some of the city's economic assistance up to District 1. I saw the numbers and obviously really excited about them. I think that, as you've seen every budget season, we've tried to champion for even more additional economic assistance to try to support some of the areas that we feel as a council need a little bit more attention. I will make a pretty remarkable announcement and thanks of gratitude, I guess. for the Mom's Grocery Store shopping center.
Our
3 years ago,
shopping center.
3 years ago, not all of those spaces were filled. Right? We've got Concentra, Pop, Scoop, and Dough. We got DHL. Right? We've filled every single one of those. So I have to thank you for your leadership there, Director Williams. Honestly, you and your team have done an incredible job there. We really appreciate it. I continue to be concerned, just like you said, with the areas of opportunity there on the other three corners of Edgewood and Rhode Island, predominantly the northeastern corner. I know that it says the Hollywood Plaza there, and I know that the city graciously granted $75,000 in economic assistance to that property. But in the northeastern corner, right, we have, you can rent your car there in the very small car rental place. They do advertise a Ferrari. I want to ask, and this doesn't have to be answered tonight, but like, what do we do about some of these properties that they're not really adding a lot to the community, right? I don't know the solution here, but I know that the county's interested, right? Having had a review and study for this particular zone to include the Route 1 corridor.
Right.
So what I'd like to ask from you and your team is two things, and if they could be sent to us, the council, is one is an itemized list of the businesses that receive the economic assistance. I know that you don't have to go down the list here, and there might be some privacy concerns with regards to the addresses. And then a list of vacancies. And separately, vacant but owned, right? So predominantly what comes to mind is Shoppers. Shoppers is theoretically, I guess on paper, not vacant, but it is vacant, right? Another one that comes to mind is the mattress store that's on Route 1, which, I mean, these properties then get used for nefarious activities. I think I've seen where they just start selling random mattresses outside. And then we have to address it. I think in the northeast corner of Edgewood and Rhode Island, a shop just wanted to start selling cannabis, right? I'd like to have a list of us to be able to point to so we can provide strategic solutions and options on how to address those concerns. I echo, and I'll probably echo everyone else's concerns on Shoppers. Shoppers is a huge priority for the community. I think a lot of folks need to travel outside of our city in order to be able to shop a normal basket of goods, and that's just a shame because if we're talking about affordable housing, it's affordable to have a grocery store that you can go to after a long work day. And right now, the options, and I love Moms, but if you're a family of, myself and Councilmember Jordan talked about this, if you have a family of like 6, right? 4 kids, 2 parents, you're not going to be able to afford to go to the grocery store at Mom's every day. It's a luxury. So we need an option to be filled there. I hear you. You're working on it. You're almost there. But I got to just keep ringing that bell on behalf of our residents.
Thank you. And again, I've heard it. Can't wait to see which grocery store chain we will land, and then we can kind of turn this conversation up into what the consumer choices will be for that particular location. But I agree with what you said, so we're working on it.
Thank you. Who is next? Councilman Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this report. I was very pleased to see how much work has been done in this area. I was especially pleased to see a number of the notable transactions slide and the number of businesses that have come in that have brought jobs. We have, from your revenue slide, those were a lot of housing was in that. But I am happy to see College Park also give people a place to work. And especially like retail is a fine place to work, but it's nice to have things that are beyond that as well, businesses that bring a different kind of value. I know that we're going to talk about Shoppers a lot, but I do want to iterate that when you mentioned that it would be expensive to subdivide or rezone the area, like, this is part of our strategic plan. Like, I don't have an OKR for it, but we have affordable housing. We don't want to have people too reliant on their automobiles. We want College Park to be the place that they can do everything that they need to do. And food is up there with housing. We spend a lot of energy and a lot of time on this dais talking about housing of every kind. And so this is very, very important from our strategy to make sure that we can have a conventional chain grocery store that you can order for a family, a large family, like Councilmember Hernandez said. I'm very pleased with the things that are coming to D2 as well as the rest of College Park. Thank you very much.
I would like to just, and I know we're on time, I wanted to, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth is coming up next. Just noted a lot of, with a large grocery store chain and with a large, we saw it with Target, it's a Wall Street vote. You know, it's tough because this is a perfect place that a Target, a Shoppers Food Warehouse, or Safeway or Giant or anywhere else should want to be. We'll continue. That's kind of like my #1 priority right now, is to see where we're going to, who's going to go into that 32,000 square foot space. So thank you for your comments too.
Thank you for your work. I know our role is rather limited. We do not own the property, and we need to work with them, and we can only do so much, but I'm sure you are very busy, so thank you.
Thank you.
Who is next? Councilmember Ray?
Well, and just a quick comment too. I mean, it was how many years that we were trying to get Trader Joe's to come to College Park, and so that was a long relationships, and so I mean, I just want to say thanks for your work and those continuing cultivation of the relationships to bring good businesses to College Park that provide jobs and provide our residents with a lot of the stores and amenities that they'd like to see. So I'm looking forward to keep working with you to develop some of those strategic issues, and also interested to hear more about the CDC and how we can be a part of that. So thanks.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I appreciate it.
We haven't done the first bite. Okay, let's go to second. Please be brief. Another big one.
Thank you. I've got a question about the Taste of College Park. I know that the first one we did, we utilized the Flav app. What were your data points or means of collecting input of how successful that was? How many people visited these restaurants during Restaurant Week? Because it was Restaurant Week.
Well, we did actually report in December. Our communications group had some stats, and I believe I reported that. I can report it again and send it back to you in terms of not only the participation, but the hits and where the hits were coming from, and the kind of in-depth search for places to eat. Again, I think we got a thumbs up generally from everybody, but there was a couple of folks that said, hey, we didn't get $1 off, or we didn't get a discount there from the merchants, which I did not, or anyone in my shop would demand that the merchants would give a discount. But we'll try to see if we can placate some of that, try to land in the middle where the merchant may give something like up until a certain part of the day or something like that. But I do have stats, and I believe I shared them, but I'll send them again. No worries.
But why was the Flav, correct me which one it is, app seemed to not been used?
Not for the second one.
Yeah.
For the first one.
The first one was, but was there a reason why?
We thought we'd gotten into a discussion with our communications group, and we wanted to take kind of a second look at how we were doing it and whether or not we could generate more, not hits, but more information, just getting more feedback. And we think we did that for the most part. I think Mrs. Quiones was able to show some good stats on it. And we got, as a matter of fact, there was 15 in July 2025. There were 20 merchants participating in January 2026. So
Thank you.
we'll continue, and it's going to increase even more. So we're happy to.
Thank you.
So I guess the big question, do I keep my Flav app or delete it?
Oh, no, you should delete that.
Deleting is very easy, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Hernandez, if you could please be brief, if possible.
I get a second bite, though. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. On the Taste of College Park, would love to be able to see a little bit more of the restaurants that are in the northern part of the city, including Samosas and Spirits, Pizza Roma, College Park Diner, Milk and Honey, Pop Scoops and Dough, Azteca, Taqueria Guadalajara. I know those aren't traditional dining facilities that we may see across, at least in the downtown area, but it would be fantastic to be able to do some outreach with those folks. Please let us know if you need help. And I know that my colleague and I would be love to get out there in front of the residents with them. On jobs, I know that you're certainly tracking the huge investment from IonQ and the projected increases of jobs, and then the forthcoming Microsoft. I'm hopeful that perhaps we could partner with the state to see how we continue that corridor farther and condense on the College Park side. I had the privilege of attending the Applied Research and Intelligence Lab groundbreaking with Mayor Kabir and Councilmember Oates, and it was a little funny because we were having a conversation with the mayor and another council member from Riverdale Park, and while I love healthy competition and we're all one Prince George's County, it would be fantastic to be able to consolidate all the resources that we can to encourage the building of that quantum corridor to be predominantly in the city of College Park.
Yeah, that establishment is actually in College Park, luckily.
Yes, that one is, but I'm hoping for future strategic leadership.
And thank you. It'll be third bite, by the way.
It will be. I realize you have the CEO from WISE here, and I was hoping to hear something from your efforts.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Michael and Rihanna, for being wonderful partners in this, and we're excited to be working on making College Park a better place to stay at every age and at every stage. And as Michael said, this is a company that I founded because of my own grandfather and seeing how he was sitting alone at home and not knowing where he could go and who he could do that with and how he would get there. And in College Park, the issues of transportation and parking and where to go that isn't going to be packed with students at various times is a very real question. And so we've been working on organizing activities. We've organized over 75, I believe, activities throughout this pilot period in partnership with the city at various local businesses. And we have been able to secure some discounts because what we've done is come to them and said, hey, what's your least busy time during the week? Okay, it's Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Perfect. We are designing this for a population of retirees, and they are happy to come out when there are fewer people, when there's a little more parking space, and to have that additional incentive of a discount. And we've been working with these venues to also become a little bit more thoughtful about what their seating setup is and how loud their music volume is and other accessibility considerations that really add up for an audience that is making a decision between sitting at home like my grandfather or feeling that they are invited and welcome and able to participate in these activities and buy a coffee or a lunch while playing board games or discussing a shared interest. And it's been an amazing experience, and I look forward to continuing to work with the city, and happy to answer more questions if you're interested.
Certainly. Thank you for the partnership.
I want to follow up on that. Yeah. So thank you. I've heard about your business and all that, and it's been announced at our civic association meetings and things like that. So I was familiar with it. we used to have, years ago, a monthly outing to particular businesses, similar how you're describing, there's slow time. And one of the things that drew out the crowd better was speakers. We would have various speakers come out, and that would draw, and particularly from the government or development or what have you. Are you guys working on anything like that?
Yes, so we've had several kind of educational sessions on various topics or talks. I think that Terrapin Station near Shoppers was could have been a good spot for that because they have that separate room. But we're thinking about what spaces could be good for events like that. Not all spaces are good for events like that. If you have suggestions that maybe we haven't considered, I would be very happy to hear them. And I think there are university professors who are current professors. There are also retired faculty members. There are also other folks in the community who may have worked at NASA or other employers in the area who are happy to share their areas of passion and expertise that we would be more than happy to organize those kinds of sessions with.
Thank you. Please, let's continue connecting, and I'm sure there will be other ideas. One final question, Mr. Williams. I think it still happens. I just want to make sure. The annual business award of the College Park.
Yes, it's on.
It's still going on? Okay.
Yes, yes. I think last year was Northwest Chinese.
Yeah,
I believe that, right? No, so, we're going to.
We like to celebrate them and probably bring them here. I think we did it last year, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you so much. Let's give one more round of applause for all the good hard work they did. All right, so we have come to the third and last one, actually. And this is the big one, too, the annexation update and options for the city of College Park. And this will be presented by our Deputy City Manager, Michelle Bailey Hedgepeth. Welcome.
Good evening.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Sorry, I was just trying to make sure I loaded up the right presentation. I didn't want to show you the legislative presentation again because I'm sure you've seen it. So, good evening. For the record, I'm Michelle Bailey Hedgepeth. I'm the Deputy City Manager. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about potential annexation options, and this is an update that goes back to, in some ways, that the Council looked at some options. Oh, let me make sure. Did I just kill things? Okay. All right. And September of 2025, the council met, and some of you weren't on the council at that time, so in some ways I would like to be able to kind of go back a step, because I wasn't here either, but I watched it on tape, and I still say tape, sorry. I watched it on the internet, and I was able to take some great notes in regards to what happened. And so as part of that, what we did is, I just want to kind of pull it down to the gist, that when council met, they wanted to look at areas that were adjacent to city borders, places that were logical extensions to the city, and then balancing those moves with our neighborhoods, and then supporting long-term sustainability, planning, and fiscal health for College Park. So from that, it's not that we're not considering all 7 or 8 options that are here, because I have them in a folder, and I have them all ready for, to answer questions on, going back to that one. But we kind of are working towards 2 options just as far as starting off the process, because I think that when we're looking at annexation, we want to be deliberate with our first move in regards to where we would look at. And in some ways, there's been a lot of pressure in looking at places that were within the College Park zip code and actually are very contiguous to College Park. And so there are some that are contiguous but are privately owned, and we are working on those. Mr. Williams and I are working on, I think, one of the ones that is a office building, and we have to do it, and that will come back as a separate, and that's a pretty easy one. And there's some other ones that are on the adjacent that was called Area 4 that we were also going to look at, but those also have some enclave issues that we need to make sure that we don't create. So options 1 and 2 are as follows, and I'm going to move to that, because I think a visual, and I'm sorry this is so small for those in television who are sitting here in regards to the Annex Area 1, but this is right in near District 4 and District 1. It's smack dab in the middle of the two, and it is actually, it was actually part of one of your options before, but the difference of this option is not going up the park and planning side and going for the USDA property instead. And in some ways it would have where the purple is where the Knights of Columbus is. And we've spoken to our, to CPJ, which is our surveying firm, and we will have, the map will not look exactly like this, so because the way it's currently configured, it would be an enclave issue, and I was worried about that because USDA is so big that it actually is contiguous. We have a portion of that USDA property in the town of, sorry, it's only been a month, city of College Park, and we are now, but there's a way that we will excise a portion of it to have a way for the homes that are on, I believe it's on University Boulevard, that are in the whitish color, because they do not want to necessarily annex into the city, and we're respecting their independence, and we don't want to create an enclave for them. So that is not part of the annexation. In your folders, I did provide a map, and it will be on the web, of where we will not, areas that are not considered, but it was not in my presentation, so I don't have that to present tonight, but I was able to get that from staff. So this is option one. And the second option, option two, is in the same area. It's actually, you had this option before, but it would be along next to District 1, where Sunnyside Park is, the USDA Agricultural Library, the USDA, next to that is C, which is going towards the, and I'm always like right, left, towards the Metro Yard, and then D would be the USDA that is adjacent to the IKEA shopping center. And then there's a small area right by the Alhuda School that would be also annexed, because that's also park and planning, along with the Sunnyside Park. So because those are both park and planning land. It's very weird, it should have been in the town. I mean, it should have been the city the whole time. It wasn't. And it's just like a little offshoot of Hollywood Park. And has never been in the city. So we're recommending to clean up the borders on that in regards to those. So I look at them as, rounding off or creating a boundary, creating some boundaries for the city. And so at this first step, we're asking that we would, and this is just so for the discussion, is that council can provide input on these contiguous annexations. Council may direct staff to consider additional phased approaches, and then council may elect to seek more legal guidance in a closed session in regards to issues regarding annexation. But what we wanted to do is put out those first two options. Not that other options aren't being considered, it's just these first two were the largest, actually are pretty large scale, and we are working with CPJ at this moment to get quotes for the surveying costs so that we can provide what that would entail, and then provide more detailed maps at a later date. So I'm here for any questions, because I wanted to make sure that we continue to keep it close.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for preparing this, and it's probably more workable than the 17 options we talked about in the first session. I'm sure there's lots of interest. Let's start with Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you so much. First off the bat, extremely supportive of any of our efforts for annexation. I'm going to focus my comments on the option 2 just because I'm extraordinarily familiar with it. Option 2 abuts right next to District 1, so the area of responsibility that my colleague and I have. And for those who haven't made it up to this part of the neighborhood, if you're heading north on Rhode Island Avenue, and you pass Edgewood and you pass 495, there's 2 streets to the right, Odessa and Paducah, that'll take you into the Sunnyside development. There you'll find a whole bunch of single-family homes and a crosswalk into what is being proposed to be annexed, which is the Hollywood Skate Park, or what's it called?
That's correct.
Yes,
the
Hollywood Skate Park.
And the city has made an investment there, so we have a
Yes.
very good tie to that park as well.
So
for Park and Planet.
we've made significant infrastructural investment. Anytime we do even this Saturday, a community cleanup, we include it as a part of the city of College Park. I often have to educate some of our residents that it's not a part of the city. If you continue on just north, passing the Sunnyside Developments, you'll get to that light right before the car wash with the I want to say it's some sort of camera that little intersection is infamous for. You take a right and then you take another right, and there you will find 3 or 4 houses that actually fall within the city of College Park, but you can't necessarily access it from our Sunnyside neighborhood. As I understand it, our public works already clears the snow up in this area towards the homes out there, and of course they cover, I want to say it's the county roads there. We're already providing services to this part of the county, right? It is, like, for most residents, a part of the city of College Park, and I think westbound from there, we would be able to protect some of the historic culture that we're so lucky to live next to, which is the what's the name of the agricultural building there? It's a library.
It's the agricultural library. It's the Lincoln Agricultural Library. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
agricultural library there, and then one more other building there that's there. One more, not on that same plot of land,
It's
but
the
just
other where the market is, where the farmers market, it's another USDA building on the other side of, and then you're talking about 2C. I have the map up again just in case as well, and it's just in case for 2C. Is that what you're talking about?
yes, in 2C, in that
Yeah.
section of 2C, it's a big plot of land.
Yeah.
So I mean, I want to emphasize that none of these options increase heavily the burden on our city services, because our city services are already conducting the work needed for a majority of the recommended areas of this particular option. I also think it's an opportunity strategically for the city to position itself, should it want to have a say on anything that happens with this part of the county. Those are my first remarks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See, Councilmember Hugh, did you raise your hand? Okay, please.
Yes, so my colleague kind of touched it on what my comment was going to be about how much services that would go towards any of these options is minimal, because it is all agricultural land. There's a little bit of streets in the George Washington Carver Center. There's a little bit on the campus across the street from the library. But other than that, a little bit maybe in Knights of Columbus. Yeah, we're not picking up a whole lot of street maintenance, snow removal, trash removal, and recycling removal, street lights. So this is a easy decision to me for the city to acquire these areas within our city limits, so that we get a seat at the table at any point in time when the zoning, which we do not have control over, changes. When that zoning changes, any sort of development were to happen, any sort of different usage of those lands, we are at the table. We have a seat at the table for that conversation. Also, it presents opportunities where, if we wanted to partner with the university for their research, because I know the university has a bit of research off of Beaver Dam Road. When I was undergraduate, I did a lot of research out there. So I'm sure that they would be losing access to those properties. So it would be in the best interest of both of us to look at how the university could use these research lands, which there's so many departments at the University of Maryland rely on the research that happens out at Beltsville. So I think this is a great move on our part. So.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the thoughts. I say Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
So I too wanted to support the annexation of the properties that are close to District 4 and appreciate the consideration that was given to those properties. It also happens that our public works often is doing work in those areas, not necessarily all the areas, but they often are cleaning up Metzrut Road. I've seen them cleaning up litter off of Metzrut Road and different things like that with snow removal. So those things are considered. Also, it's a very positive thing to have the properties that back up from on College Park Woods with the Bark property, the agricultural property, because we know that there's in place a do not develop order, but we never know what the future holds. And I think it's a really important strategy for us to move to purchase or annex those properties. My one question is, you mentioned that some residents are hesitant to be annexed into the city of College Park. I would revisit that. I think that it would behoove us to revisit that. I of course respect their privilege of, but I would revisit it. Thank you.
Thank you. So before I go to Councilmember Mitchell, in annexation area 2, I do not see any residential properties.
There isn't any residential. It's only an annexation 1.
One has some,
and has one house that we would seek to
Right.
annex, 1 to 2 houses that we might seek to annex, and we would work with those particular 2 properties. But that's again something that the staff would be able to provide information on.
Correct. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Councilmember
And I
Mitchell?
forgot to mention I'm sorry, Mayor, that these annexations do comply with the new state law as far as these are within our current legislative district.
Correct.
So that even if they were outside of the legislative district, we would then do a letter or some kind of a letter of intent that would let the other people know. The only area that may be partially out of the legislative district is the Pepco utility lines that are aligning when Jacob and I did the first look at them, they're half at that. It's like a nice little fine line between in the Pepco, but that would be refined with the surveyor. So it's like it's half in 21, maybe half in the other district, but we're not sure yet. So that's the only thing I just wanted to give you that because of since we had the legislative presentation, I want to make sure I addressed it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Councilmember Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to say a huge thank you to my colleagues for allowing me to place this on the agenda for consideration. We have been talking about it for many years, and we're finally to this point to start the robust discussion in regards to what it would look like here in the city of College Park. Since my colleague in option 1, I think it would be a good idea for us to have this more intentional conversation. Again, as my Mayor Pro Tem Mackey mentioned, that there's 2 streets along the extension of Metzrut Road that are not aligned in the city of College Park. But I think timing is everything, and there's different owners. They may be willing to come in the city of College Park and we are able to provide services such as the trash removal and snow removal. And that's something that they have had somewhat of a little bit of a hesitation because they were in the city of College prior, and it was not a very promising situation for them. I am also thankful for the consideration about the other Acradale, the Paint Branch Park areas, as well as the churches and other nonprofits. That will make much more of a holistic approach in District 4. And I just look forward to listening from you the next steps in regards to the cost, because I think that will be the real big decision maker for us as a body. How do we move forward with either option 1 or 2? I would love to do both, but I know we cannot feasibly do that possible. But I would like to hear what would the cost would be.
I know you mentioned about survey costs, right? Is there any additional costs involved?
It would really be our time with our attorney that would have to do the annexation legislation, but it's really the surveying cost. And because the one nice thing that you have here at College Park is that we do have an up-to-date map of the subsequent legislations that have happened since 1947. I actually have it in my office, and the last one was done in 2013. And so you have a good legislative place to start with in regards to annexation that maybe other cities haven't had. And so part of the surveying costs include the meets and bounds and some of that, and so that the surveyors will not have to at least reinvent the wheel, because, and it doesn't seem like College Park is annexed a lot, but over the years you've had probably close to 15 to 20 annexations of parcels throughout the founding of the city. So it's not just, this is not something that's actually new to you. And actually, when you annex the keyhole, and I kind of call it the keyhole, that is where the housing is, that was done in 2009. Some of the properties in regards to the churches that are right there at University probably could have come in at the same time, but it just wasn't. It was really the pattern of what you've done is when the university adds a property, they'll come to you, you'll do an agreement, and you'll add that property. So this is more intentional, looking at pieces of university property that are not in the city of College Park proper, more than, let's say, a land grab towards anything else. It's really kind of, especially when you're looking at the items on item 1 that are in red and in blue, those are places, for the most part, that people think they're in College Park, and they're not in College Park. I think I really kind of look at it, and I'd say the same thing with Hollywood Park. I think people believe that they're in College Park because right across the street they're in College Park, right next to it they're in College Park because of the development that you annexed in 2003. So there's a lot of it that's surrounding, and I just want to just kind of put that on the record, is that there's a lot of this one. The reason why staff sort of went with this is because this particular one is because it does fit with the existing boundaries very well.
And Mr. Mayor, just ask one last question. Again, thank you for the report and the opportunity to look at 2 options. But I also was trying to see if we are going to actually create a protocol so that if this occurs again in another 5 or 10 years, there's actually a process that's outlined and written and has been adopted, so we'll know what we'll have to do in future.
Yes, Councilwoman. So the process in state law is pretty clear on how we need to advertise and we need to put forward the resolutions. So we would not only follow that process, but the enhanced process. I think what you're asking for is, again, these kinds of conversations where staff would bring to you areas or items that we would say, hey, these would be areas that we are talking with landowners with, and we'd bring this in an open session. We would work through some of those issues. We would bring you costs, things like that. So that's why this initial one is out here for you to say, hey, we're going to seek some cost, and we'll be able to bring that back to you. So again, this will be a transparent and public process where we'll have those costs, that information out there for you, and then move forward to the state law and making sure that we do the proper notification and as far as the resolutions and things like that. But in this case, especially in this one when we're looking at it, these are all, for the most part, places that are within College Park zip code. In regards to, especially in Section 1, they are all in your zip code. They all have addresses that are College Park. In number 2, there are some that are not, but they are so adjacent to College Park that they are not places that we're going way out of bounds for, and especially because you had the adjacent annexation of IKEA back in 2003. that has kind of set this up for you in that particular area. So I just want to make sure that that is clear to the public. It's not something that you all haven't had a previous open session on. You're not meeting behind closed doors. This is something that has very sunlight.
Thank you. I know a couple of hands there. One quick question about the procedure. I know City of Greenbelt also doing, they have started this annexation process, and they have introduced some ordinances, and
Right.
they're reviewing right now. Have they completed their surveying part, or they'll be doing later on?
Yeah, a good question, Mayor. That is usually part of the reason why you would have the survey. You have to have the surveying done to do the resolution and the resolution plan. So there's two pieces. There's a resolution, and then there's one's called a annexation plan, which are all adopted at a meeting, and there's a 45-day plus process in which it's advertised and things like that. And that's there's a handbook on annexation, which I can make sure that when we do the next one, I will put as part of the public packet that has the step-by-step of what these mean. But yes, in order to be at the stage they have had to survey and have the land history of each one of those as part of that annexation plan that is part of the public announcement.
So before I do introduce any ordinance, we must do the surveying.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's do the first bites first. Councilmember Simmons, and then it'll go probably Councilmember. Oh, you're the second bite. That's okay. No, you haven't done? Okay. Please, you're first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you as well for this thorough information. I really appreciate the narrowing and focusing of the scope of annexation options that are before us, and I also really appreciated the information in the staff report. It seemed like a thorough kind of introductory rundown. The mayor will be pleased that I am curtailing my questions actively right now, but I did want to note, I thought it was really interesting in the staff report where it says that particularly option 1 is rationalizing the city's municipal boundaries, and I think we heard that in the presentation as well, perhaps about both of these options. And I will admit that I have long wondered kind of why do we have these wonky boundaries all around the city, but then I saw the map for option 1, and I see that we are butting up against all of this tax-exempt property, churches, county-owned property, state-owned property, federally owned property, and I thought, this map actually rationalizes for me our existing property boundaries or our existing municipal boundaries. So I found that, frankly, clarifying. I do think if we are really interested in having smooth boundaries, then adding these properties in, perhaps that's a motivator for some. I want to understand a little bit more about next steps. It seems like staff is recommending that the survey is the next step. Is that correct?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're getting those quotes now so that we can bring that back to you in another open session to say, hey, this is how much this annexation would cost and for surveying, and these are the timelines and things like that, if that is where you want us to go. And so we would bring an item that would allow us to put that into the budget and bring that back with the costs associated.
Okay, thank you. I think for me, in terms of both of these, I really just need a clearer understanding and analysis of the benefit of the of any proposed annexation to our current residents, and also the cost in terms of public facilities and public services. I know I hear my colleagues talking about instances in which we already do extend some public services to these places, but I do think there's a big difference between kind of taking on out of the goodness of our hearts or the desire of adjacent residents, taking on some of those services versus making it our responsibility and our business. So I would just want to see more clearly what are the actual costs that we will be looking at, and understanding that it seems like every single one of these properties is tax exempt. Like, what is the benefit to the city? I am glad to hear that we are also considering annexations in the future that may have some tax generating properties as well. So I'll look forward to those. And I think for these, even before the survey, I would be really interested to understand what are we gaining from any of these potential annexations.
Thank you. Thank you for doing a fantastic job with the questions. Let's see, any first bite? Okay, Councilmember Ranker and Councilor Jordan.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to the staff for hearing us that, especially like that Bark land up north of Greenbelt was not something that we wanted to pursue. I think these are good, more focused options for us to pursue. I'm wondering, so if we go with on next steps, option 1 here, providing our input, what's the reasonable timeline for how long the survey, information would take to come back to us? And then I hear you saying you don't want to commit maybe right now to a timeline of, what the next steps would be. But could you give folks a general outline of maybe what to expect?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in let's say in the fact that everything aligns, the stars align, that we know we have a meeting with CPJ this week to talk about what the survey, actually how long the surveying will take and to get the costs. I think the other issue is that we would be able to provide updates to the council probably, this summer. The issue is that I was looking at this summer, and when we look at the number of meetings, the timing of the meetings have to be in a certain way so that if you did start one, you'd have to have the way of the, you have to have some of the postings correct. So the issue is that I was trying to figure out if I said, okay, I could get everything done by this date, I'd have to look at all my posting dates. So I need to work with the city attorney a little bit to see if everything went aligned, and I could say, okay, that's just the park. Let's say you just wanted the Sunnyside Park and the Alhuda School, the little area right there. That's a simple, small annexation, or something just very simple, around the, because I've got to not create any enclaves. Something that's around the churches, I guess, that are around the university. And let's just say some of the smaller parts. We can, that could be done in probably 2 to 3 months. But it's really, for right now, because of the summer, it's just figuring out what dates that if I said, okay, then this has to hit a date, and then you have to hit a date here. So that's where, it can be, some of them, if it's not a large annexation, can be done fairly quickly. When you have a agreement, those can be done, but it's just that it's the timing of how you have to advertise them regardless that binds you to certain dates, and I'm just still trying to figure out the cadence this summer, and I think that's the only issue that I would have to say. So could I have stuff to you in early fall and then have a normal cadence, and then it would be done? That's probably reasonable, but if I was in a hurry, could I get something in the summer? Probably, but it's just trying to figure out those dates. Does that help, Councilman Waker?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And knowing if the stars align, right?
Right.
Yeah, and for unpopulated areas, maybe or I should say non-populated areas, obviously there would be no vote then because there's no residents and requirement to get a certain threshold. But who actually then does, approve annexations? How does that logistically happen?
For some of these properties with the federal and the federal and the state owner and MPCC, we would really just be able to put those up in front of you. We would, of course, talk to our stakeholder partners and talk to them about the annexation process, and so that would be part of the conversation. But there is not an approval for, let's say, churches and nonprofit lands because they are non-taxpayers, and so those do not have the same requirements as homeowners. So homeowners, if you're trying to annex a whole neighborhood, there's a certain percentage that you'd have to do, and none of these properties we are looking at have that kind of a requirement, because we're not looking at several homes, and we're not looking to say, we are trying to, we want to have friendly annexation. We do not want to force anybody into an annexation where we say we have 90% of the people around you, so we're going to just put poop if you're in the city. That's not how we want to approach this. I don't think that's the way the council wants us to approach at this point. But I think what I'm hearing is, though, that we need to kind of do some PR in regards to annexation to unannexed areas within that are near the city boundaries, and we can definitely do that and provide the benefits of annexation. And I'm also hearing with what Councilwoman Simmons is saying in regards to putting together information on the cost benefit of all of these for you. So I think in my next presentation, I can give you some of that to say what is the ROI of, let's say, taking a nonprofit or a piece of land that doesn't have a taxable benefit at this moment, and put that together for you. I can definitely go in the next memos when we're saying this is the target, this is the ROI, this is how we see the cost for services from the city and how that would affect residents. We do not believe, I think a good example is going in regards to the things on in the Area 2 map. Rhode Island is a brand new street. You've got new streetscape on it, so we don't have to make that investment for a little while. And I would say that the city is a pretty good steward and probably will maintain some of those areas probably a little bit better. I hate to say it, better than the county, but I think we're sometimes better. So
we
I
are.
think
We are. We should
and
take
so,
credit.
I know, Mayor. I know you were going to say. As I know you would probably agree with me, but I think we could do. I think we would be able to be a good steward of some areas, and I think staff is taking those in. But what we can do is actually put a dollar amount to residents so they know what that is, and I'm willing to have that transparency.
Great, and I'll just add too, as a clergy person, tax exempt religious land doesn't always stay tax exempt, and in fact, it's in the religious community, kind of across the board. There's more and more conversation about ways to generate income from the land in order to kind of keep the long-term sustainability of the churches or synagogues or mosques, et cetera. So, thanks.
Thank you. I say let's finish first bite first. Councilor Jordan is left.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So the question that I had was about as far as the next steps. There's this is much more narrow than what was originally presented to the mayor and council in September. But as far as these. Are we in a position where it would be feasible for us to move forward with all of this? And I mean, not ultimately, we're not making a decision tonight, but are we able to feasibly, with attorney fees and staff time, pursue each of these pieces all together? Or are you recommending that we decide how we would want that to be narrowed now?
I think that we can, as staff, if there is a general organization that you are approving of these, we can bring you another set of options once we get those surveying costs back and give a little bit more to say, I think you can afford X, Y, or Z, and then we can put those numbers together and we can come back. If these are not, I just want to know if these are not acceptable. Does that make sense more than anything else? If these are not acceptable areas, or these are not acceptable things to look at, if they're saying, definitely we don't want, 2E, I'm not excited to give an option that's on there, but let's just say you said, I didn't like this one. I just want to know that so we don't engage and, we don't work with because it takes time for the surveyors to kind of just look at land to give us an idea, and it takes a little time for them to put it together, but they've already kind of given us an idea of what's the best way to go with some of these. So I think that's what we'll have more information and we'll be able to bring it back. So tell me what you hate. I guess that makes sense. If there's something that you say, I don't want to do this, I just want to make sure that I'm not, moving too fast.
Thank you. I do not have anything that I hate.
Thank you.
On this list.
Good. Let's go for the second bite. Who is the first? Is it Councilor Hernandez?
Thank you. I want to start off by thanking Council Member Mitchell for her visionary leadership in proposing this and then insisting upon the city manager to bring it before us. So really, really appreciate your leadership on this. I know that there was a number of different options that you could expand all the way pretty north. I think I heard Councilmember Ranker said that we weren't necessarily supportive. I'll ping on the other end. It's like I am supportive, right? I think we could explore a lot of opportunities, and I'm sure if the residents knew, right, of Beltsville would know, they could probably have some timely trash pickups and some thorough snow removal. but I guess that conversation can happen for another day. Just to go back to option one, that piece of land that abuts right between Hollywood Park and Al Huda, that's an enclave that must have just been missed, correct?
Yeah, it's not really even an enclave. I think it was just because when the school existed, I just think these are just leftover pieces that were never rounded off in your boundaries. It's just you find them all over the place, but
Okay.
yeah, that one's just a random.
There's absolutely no way to tell if
Yeah.
you go to that part of the
Yeah, you can't
the
tell that
neighborhood.
that the city ends like right in the middle of some woods, and I think it's just because of the way the parcel is, and it's just an easy parcel, and it's not an enclave because you're not.
Someone else left it.
It's not. You're not trapping anybody in. You have both sides there, so it's not. You don't create an enclave at all. I just
Okay.
want to make sure you're clear. I'm clear. I'm like, I don't want to have any enclaves.
No, I definitely
Regular
don't want an enclave. It just feels like a little
Yeah.
island that
Yes,
has
it's an
never
island.
been, like, I don't know. Seems like just an oversight. I do want to at least make my comments public with regards to the why here. I think there's an opportunity here if with some vision and of the possible. I'd love to be able to say that we'll continue to enjoy the spaces that we have, but as we look to explore the affordability of housing and what just happens in cities and city sprawl, and then what's happening at our federal level of politics, like there could always be a possibility that some of this land just goes up, like for sale. Whether there's laws or state prohibitions to do so, I mean, we much rather be prepared than not. And although that some of these spaces may be tax exempt at this time, I don't think that that's always the case. But unless it's a university property. But aside from that, I just really hope that we can get something back where we can just try to illustrate what that vision looks like, Ms.
Hedgepath.
Ms.
Sure, I
Hedgepath.
can. I will.
Yeah. And we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Councilmember Hugh.
Yes, I also want to thank Councilmember Mitchell for insisting this conversation takes place. I was not as so successful 12 years ago when I first got on council. I am wondering why, from the presentation that was given to us back in September, that the parcel of land that is west of the domain along Campus Drive and Adelphi and the University of Maryland Global Campus, why is that not being presented to us as a consideration at this point? Because there's so much economic potential sitting there. And
It's
I had
not
asked
that
that, like I said, 12 years ago, and again when I first got elected.
Yeah, it should come back to you. It's just that there are some issues that I do not want to have any enclave issues, and I want to make sure that when we do it, because of the way that Hyattsville's borders are, I would like to be able to look at that more long-term, more in depth before I bring it back to you. I know that I have that in my list, and it's not something that, I just want to make sure that we can bring it back to you, the cleanest version, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In terms of the usage or the zoning of the USDA land, this is mostly agricultural. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, it is. Yes, Mayor, it is agricultural forever. It's perpetually agriculture from the state of Maryland, but that, like we say, we don't know the long term. I used to work in Nevada, and the federal government used to sell land all the time that is BLM land, and would sell off parkland. So it's because of the way that state
Yeah.
works, but not in the state of Maryland. So it's not necessarily the case here, but it has happened before.
Yeah, it's important to note that because right now it's not developable. And there are some additional layers of restrictions from the state law. I think Senator Jim Razapep mentioned that in one of the news article,
Yeah.
Greenman Review. even with that, there are opportunities to do some kind of environmental or sustainability work that the city has interest in. So there are opportunities.
Right.
Thank you. Who is next? Councilor Mitchell. Sorry, Councilor Mitchell, yes.
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councilman Hugh. I was thinking about you when I brought it back, so we are synced. But to Councilman Hernandez's point, I think it is quite important that we start the process now. There are other things going on in the county that may affect municipalities, and for us to be starting the process to figure out what we would like to do for these two options will, I think, set us up in a good place, not only for us personally, but the synergy that what City of Greenbelt is doing. I think will bring us an opportunity to have more conversations and collaboration about what we can do with that corridor, Route 193, and coming down and have our own conversations in the future strategically about Route 1 and the outer layer. So I think it's very prudent for us to be proactive instead of reactive, and I think the time is now for us to do that.
Thank you. Who is going to go for a second bite? Anybody else? Think, Councilor Anchor.
Yep. Just to clarify from Councilmember Hernandez, I was talking about the Beaver Dam Road area. That was one of the options that was presented to us last time, about ones at least that I heard several folks say we weren't as interested in. Doesn't mean everybody was not interested, but I couldn't concur more with my colleagues. These are very acceptable to me, and I look forward to getting the next steps.
Yeah, good to know. So that's a positive direction. Looks like there's general interest moving forward. So next step would be getting into the surveying work and get the cost estimate. I guess that's what you're going to do.
Yes,
and also
we will bring you something back. We'll get something back from you probably in the next month or two, if I can get it. If they get it, so probably June or July. So you'll get
fantastic.
something else.
Thanks for your work. So this
Mr.
is a nice
Mayor.
segue to extend the meeting. It's 10:30.
At the time, we need to extend it.
I need a motion. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem and second by Councilor Mitchell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Meeting is extended. So we still have one more item. And
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. I think there was also
two more items. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, for Ms. Hedgeman, will that the question be when you come back to us? Will there be a timeline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There'll
thank
be a
you.
timeline and cost.
Thank you. All right. So there are one ordinance and one letter of support. So which is going to take? This is a big one. FY 27 budget. Mr. Olive, thank you for your patience. I've been patiently waiting. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And good evening. I'm here for the introduction of Ordinance 26003, which is the fiscal year 2027 operating budget and CIP for the city of College Park. And what I put together here is mainly just a summary, and it is actually the ordinance numbers that's going to be on the slides. And as you can see, starting out with revenue, it is these numbers have not changed through all the work sessions and everything else. This is still the forecasted revenue. It has not changed from $31.5 million of revenue for the fiscal year 2027. And what did change throughout the work sessions are these numbers, which are expenditures. As you can see with the general administration and government, that it went to 9.8, well, actually 9.9 million. And then public services at 6.7, planning at 900,000, youth and family services 2.5 million, public works at 8.7 million, contingency at $200,000, which does include 125 for contingency, and then 75,000 is just sitting in contingency if you do decide to do employee bonuses later in the year. Operating transfers to capital projects increased to $2.1 million, and operating transfers to debt service is still the same at $1.3 million. That comes to a total expenditures and contingencies and transfers to $32.4 million. And so what we do to bring this back to a balanced budget, which to reduce that $32.4 million back down to the same as the expected revenue, is using excess fund balance of $869,876, which still leaves us a healthy fund balance of 42.5% fund balance, and that is it would leave $12.2 million of fund balance, and that is 42.5%. So that is still well above the 35% we'd like to stay at, and greatly above the 25% that's mandated by the city. Next is moving to capital projects fund. It is that beginning balance for the year is $9.7 million. Transfers in from general funds, $2.1 million. Other funding sources, $643,000, for total revenues into CIP is $2.8 million. And our total outlays that we included into the budget was $7.8 million. So we should have an ending balance in CIP at the end of the year of about $4.7 million that will carry over into the next fiscal year. As you can see, these budget highlights, just real quickly, the new positions, they will all begin in at the first of the fiscal year in July. As you see, it's still the same 4 full-time, 1 part-time that have been talked about ever since the beginning. And then the other, these are the ones that through the straw poll that passed it in our last work session. These are all the additions that were included in the numbers that I just showed you. We are working together. I have all those numbers put together. I have all the corrections to the sheets and everything else put together. And so communications is doing its last update, so we can get that out to you shortly. We should have it in the next couple of days, so you'll have the completed proposed budget, and we can post it back online as the completed proposed budget also. But these numbers here will be put up, I believe, right after this meeting. And the next thing after this meeting would be our public hearing, which is scheduled for May the 5th at 7:30, and that will be in this room.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. And I saw you made this presentation at the BDCA last week, I guess, and you did a fantastic job. And this is very simple and high level, so that's the beauty of the simplicity.
Yes.
So thank you for doing a fantastic job. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So the ask is to introduce it. That's an action item. Is there any questions before? Councilman Hernandez. Let's not do another 2 hours.
You know, I've watched meetings where you were a council member, Mr. Mayor. All right.
I'm in trouble.
I move to introduce ordinance 26003, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of College Park, Maryland, to adopt the fiscal year 2027 general fund, ARPA, allocation fund, debt service fund, and capital projects fund budgets for the city of College Park, and to schedule the related public hearing for May 5th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m.
Second.
I need a second. So the motion was moved by Councilmember Hernandez and seconded by Councilmember Hill. There is no vote needed because this is an introduction. And
Mr. Mayor, if I can make a comment, please. To our director, Olive, they just want to say, I know, congratulations, your first budget here. You did a fantastic job. You should be proud of that.
Thank you.
There are some municipalities who are struggling right now, trying to balance a budget. and they're looking at raising taxes.
We don't
Not,
wanna do that.
they're doubling, looking at the double taxes on some of the municipalities. So thank you so very, very much. I can go brag, we can brag now.
Yep.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And hopefully it will pass and we won't have to resort back to the, going back to the operating budget that's proposed by the city manager by, by the end of May.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks again. The one last item, which is 26G38, it's a support of letter to Prince George County Board of Liquor License. And this will be taken by our attorney, Stephanie Anderson. Ms. Anderson, the floor
Yes.
is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. What you have before you tonight is a request by the applicant, Glassbox Pedal Club LLC, trading as Glassbox Pedal Club, has regarding their application for a Class D beer and wine license for use at the premises known as 4928 College Avenue in College Park, Maryland. The applicant is scheduled to have a hearing before the Board of License Commissioners next Tuesday on April 28th, 2026. Generally speaking, under the regulations of the Board and License Commissioners, this type of license has hours of operations of 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., 7 days a week, with no food requirement. And I also wanted to advise you that all requirements regarding permits and any other regulatory requirements have to be approved before the actual license is effectuated. I have worked with Ms. Linda Carter on a property use agreement. We are substantially there. The terms and conditions are represented in the packet that you received. And the applicant is here tonight to answer any questions. And I am here and available if you have any further questions from me.
Thank you. Any question from the council? I think it's in district. Ms. Carter, do you have any presentation or brief one? You want to say a few words?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. It's a pleasure to be before you again. And I have with me the two principals of the business that operates Glassbox Paddle Club. And I'll be very honest with you all, I'd never heard of Glass Paddle Box before I got the call. And I actually had the opportunity to come out to the site, although I felt like a fool. I lived right behind the VFW on Good Luck Road for 30 years. Went to Duval Senior High School, went to the University of Maryland. Passed on Good Luck Road every single day for how many years? I couldn't get there. With all the road construction, I had to call. It's like, where do I turn? Anyway, can I approach? I don't know if any of you
What do you want to do?
What my clients described to me as a deflated tennis ball. The court is about one-third the size of the tennis court, so it's perfect for somebody my age.
That's a pretty good stroke.
Let's be honest. And it's got glass walls on all sides. Heavy-duty glass walls, I might add. They don't break when these balls hit at 40, 50 miles an hour. And playing off the glass is part of the game. The game originated evidently in Mexico, but it has taken off with a vengeance in Europe. All the soccer players, this is their second sport, and it's very big in Latin America. This is only the second paddleball location in the Washington metropolitan area. There's another one down in close to Dulles Airport, and I think there's going to be one up in the Towson area up in Baltimore. We're asking for your support to get a beer and wine license for the use of this location. And I want to make it very clear, this is not going to be a beer garden. This is not going to be a place that is going to attract young people. It is really designed for the players. And just like with a racquetball court or a tennis club or a golf course, this is a place where people can go after they played and maybe have 1 or 2 beers or a glass of wine. Everything is going to be sold in individual packages, one ID, 1 drink. If you want a second drink, you got to come back up with your own ID. Beer, the minimum price of a beer, and this is actually higher than what we had talked about, is going to be $5. The goal is to not attract kids from the University of Maryland. We don't want that. I know, I'm sorry, guys. You know, you're more than welcome to play. We don't want you drinking. It really is just to serve as an accommodation. Now, the problem that we have, and it has nothing to do with y'all, and I have to tell you, your staff, from the inspectors to the staff that is before you tonight and behind me, has been absolutely phenomenal in helping us to get before you. But we do have some issues. My client submitted a site plan, which was approved by the county, and they built the entire, it's about 5,000 square feet, right, total space? Roughly okay, I'm sorry, half acre. Yeah, 20,000. It was built exactly pursuant to that approved site plan. Unfortunately, when the use and occupancy permit issued, it only had the 4 courts. So now we're going back to the county because there are 2 structures on the premises. There is a converted container, which is permanently affixed. It's not like you could put wheels on it and roll it out, where the snacks are currently sold and where the rental of equipment is conducted and where you sign up to rent your courts. It's air conditioned, it's heated, it's got electricity, it's fully functional, but the county didn't issue a UNO for it. So we've got to correct that. There is also on the property what I'm going to call a prefabricated, self-contained bathroom unit. It is a trailer, and I did not go into the men's section, but I did go into the ladies' section. There are 3 stalls. They all flush. There's fresh running water. It is not a porta potty as such. Okay, yes, it is self-contained, but it is certainly I think it's certainly something that the county will in fact license. So we come to you tonight, as Ms. Anderson has suggested, asking you to support our application with the knowledge that if we can't get a UNO, unfortunately, we're never going to be able to effectuate the issuance of the license. Okay. We did send, and I know it was forwarded in your package, we have pictures of the property, of the courts, of the 2 units that are in the enclosed fenced area. My clients understand that they can't let anybody leave the property with a drink. All drinks will be opened at the snack bar, single service, single can of beer, a single small bottle of wine. And so if we can answer any questions.
Certainly. So this property is in District 3, right? I'll let my District 3 colleagues to ask questions. Yeah, I'm sure.
Are there...
First, then I'll come to you.
Yeah, I think I know the answer to this, but I mean, obviously, just would love to hear from you. It's obviously close to the railroad tracks, the metro. It's close to the airport. Are there any concerns about folks accidentally wandering over there? I mean, are there adequate fences and stuff like that that would make it pretty difficult?
The fence is
for anybody
very high all the way around, and in fact, in some of the parts, and it's not because my clients put it in, some of the fencing actually has some barbed wire on it. I'm not sure why, because that was not put in by them, but yeah. Nobody's going to inadvertently go the wrong way. There's only one gate that enters into the property.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Oates and then Councilmember Hill.
Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to clarify, so your plan is to change the minimum price in the PUA to $5 from
Yeah,
$2?
we can do that, correct? The beer price to $5.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hill?
No, the Gatorade's at $5, so the beer's certainly going to be $5.
Yes, I see that you intend currently to stay open till 10 o'clock,
That's correct.
and your liquor license you're applying for is till 2 a.m.?
Yeah, the liquor license by law is allowed to be open from 6 o'clock in the morning till 2 a.m., 6 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 a.m. on Sundays. My clients have no intention of doing that early or that late. Currently, the proposed hours are 9 to 10? Yeah, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 10 p.m. rather. If there were a special event like a tournament and we needed to go past that 10, we would have to obviously request permission of the liquor board. And then, like we've agreed in this, and I've agreed with all other PUAs, we would simultaneously notify this council as well, so you were aware of what was going on.
And I also saw live entertainment up to 9 p.m. Could you elaborate on that?
So, yes and no. There is no plan for live entertainment. The law allows it. I wanted to make sure my clients understood that they did not qualify for an entertainment permit because it's a Class D license. So if they were to have any form of live entertainment, it would have to end at 9 p.m. That's the state law as it applies in Prince George's County. We've asked that be put in just in the oddball event that there is a tournament and they maybe have a guitarist or something. I was there tonight. They have a single speaker that provides music for the surrounding. We prepared for tonight's hearing very easily with the music in the background.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Yeah, from the...
I move to approve the recommendation of support to the Board of License Commissioners for Prince George's County, Maryland, for a Class D beer and wine license for use at the premises known as 4928 College Avenue, College Park, Maryland, subject to licensee entering into a property use agreement, subject to approval of the city attorney, and authorizing the city manager to sign the letter of recommendation to the Board of License Commissioners.
Second.
All right, further comments? No? Or not? Yeah, we'll get an opportunity when I come back. So, but first I need to go to the audience if anyone wants to speak on this item. I don't think there is any virtual hands. Seeing none,
On the hearing.
please come.
On this.
For this item, we can.
Yeah, on this.
Okay. Seeing none, let's come back to the council. Any comments before I take the vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I would just like to, I saw your drawings and everything, but I would like to encourage you that if you're going to be serving liquor, that you have something that people can eat or nosh on or something like that. I know that it's not required, but I would just encourage you to do that.
We're actually investigating what foods can be easily sold without requiring the next level of health.
Thank you. Councilman Hernandez?
Just really a quick question. I don't know if this is for the city staff or for you all, but I'll direct it to the city staff. Would this qualify as an amusement for the amusement tax? If you don't know, you could come back to me.
Yeah, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I just think it's a unique little opportunity. I'll take the opportunity to make comments. It sounds great. It sounds like a good opportunity, and I'm glad that we're bringing this. I don't understand why we wouldn't want university students there. There are responsible university students, believe it or not.
We just don't want them drinking. They're more than welcome to play.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems okay. Yeah. Have a great time. Enjoy yourselves.
Hopefully it will not make a headline news at Diamondback tomorrow morning. All right. Any further comments before take the vote? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? So the motion has passed 8-0. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much. And I have to tell you all, if any of you need new speech writers, I think you saw 3 people today who would qualify.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. All right. So we are done with all the items, action items, and the discussion on the presentations. So now is the time to request for status of the future agenda items. Was there any request? Or I haven't seen any, right? Okay. If that is not the case, sorry. Is this on number 14? Please go ahead.
So I just wanted to flag that there were 2 future items added during our last meeting that don't appear on the master list now in the packet for this meeting on looking into education and looking into childcare. So if those can be added, that'd be great.
I'm sure staff is working on it. They'll be added, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's go to number 15, which is the comments from the audience. Is anyone, please come forward, state your name for the record, and can speak on anything.
William Sullivan. I'm going to keep it quick. For the rental prices, I work with students. I'm a house director for a fraternity, so I hear the down and dirty about leasing and rental in the city. Just tonight, heard that a student signed their lease for June 26 in December 25. I don't know how you sign a lease on a apartment unit that someone already occupies prior to the 90-day required sort of, what's it called? You have to...
Early lease ordinance?
Yeah. So it seems a little curious to me that these leases are getting double booked and sort of removing a competitive market advantage for community negotiation on prices. So I know that there's a committee or an intern that's looking at housing and rental and stuff, so maybe that's something to look into. Also, Core Group out of Chicago, they own 2 properties, and I'm wondering if they're coordinating their prices between their 2 investments in the city. Regarding the Bark land, there was mention of being prepared. One thing that should be considered is that it's not just agriculture land, it is research land. There is Superfund sites on that land. I would highly recommend looking at the USDA maps. And the Bark maps, those are laid out. But that is, I was actually just speaking with one of our Nobel laureates on campus, and not about this, but about other things in life. Every challenge is an opportunity. But definitely that's one thing that should be considered early on, especially when it comes to acquisition or purchasing of land. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing those ideas.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, anyone else? Please state your name for the record.
Hussein Wahid, very quick appreciation. We brought together all the elements that contribute to the transformative economic efficiency in College Park, the city, and surrounding areas. The economic development details are very important, especially the role of NOAA that utilizes embedded technologies for prediction of weather patterns, and that is connected to the transformative economic efficiency. It is very large scale. It contributes to the whole country, to the region. So College Park has been a contributor to it for a very long time and also beneficiary. That is not easily understood, and we want to bring those facts forward through those algorithms for standards and how it enhances the government operations, the development of interactive standards. And also, it was remarkable how the young students from elementary school, middle school could point out that, the cost of living has to go down one way or another. And this is one of those hidden gems, the value that is created through these algorithms that people never see. Also the quantum technology part and many other technologies that have not been revealed or not mentioned, but they will come forward eventually. This whole process, is designed to achieve this understanding and interaction amongst citizens of all age groups, including the WISE Connection company that was here. It's a huge contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing those ideas and thoughts. Seeing none, let's come back to the council comments, starting from my left with Councilmember Mitchell.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wanted to say your District 1 representative, Councilmember Hernandez, and myself attended District 1 County Council member Tom Denoga's county listening session last week, where he had the county executive there to talk about the budget. It was a very interesting conversation, how they were able to close their gap in their budget. But it just brings up the point of it's continuing the collaboration with our stakeholders, such as Councilman Denoga, but also to be able to opportunity to speak with other entities about how they do their budget process and learn from them. Number two, I was able to attend the COGS Board of Directors meeting, where, again, the City of College Park was given accolades as far as participating in the Talent Capital AI presentation. We were the only municipality in Prince George's County. Not even Prince George's County has even participated. So that is huge for us, and everyone should be recognized, and thank you to city staff for doing that, because that's very, very important. And I won't go and belabor, but they did talk about their 2025 community survey, which showed that after COVID and the release of federal workers, the commuter ridership did go down significantly. So there are other important details to elaborate on, and I'll provide a report hopefully by our next session.
Thank you, and thank you for your leadership with the Talent Capital AI site. That was fantastic. Appreciate your help. Mayor Pro Tem?
So I had the opportunity to meet with the mayor and our three city manager, our deputy city manager, our assistant city manager, and the team of our county executive. And we had some really great conversations about everything from public safety to just a plethora of information was given out. It was a really positive interaction, and very nice to meet her in person. And I also had the privilege to attend a meet and greet with the Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and it was very refreshing to hear some of the people that have been helped, and meet the volunteers. And I'm sure I did other things during the week because I felt like I was pretty active this week, but those were my two highlights. Thank you so much.
You also attended on the same night
oh yeah,
College Park Fire Department.
Oh, the fire department, yes. And that was very encouraging to see these young people so committed to the health and welfare of our city. So it was a really blessed week to just be able to see how our city is working with all these different entities to really make College Park a wonderful place to live.
Thank you. Councilor Maranka?
Yeah, I just want to thank Mr. Sullivan for especially bringing forward the issues, the loopholes for the early lease ordinance. I have a student of mine who shared that not only is he living in a property that has six residents, which is known to the landlord, but there was people viewing the property, and he said to his landlord, "Oh, I thought you already had it rented for next year." He said, I do. This is for the following year." So they're already, so this is one of those known loopholes that, we might have to address sooner rather than later. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Oates?
I just wanted to say on a host of different issues, I really want to just appreciate the work that city staff's been doing. I think don't take my lack of comments tonight to mean I'm not paying attention. I just really appreciate the work that's happening and look forward to continuing to work with you.
Certainly. Totally agree. And I'll be very brief. I had the opportunity to go to several places that Mayor Pro Tem Mackey mentioned. We went there together, county exec meeting, College Park, fire department, dinner, and also helping neighbors appreciation meeting at the City Hall. I also had the opportunity to work with District 1 council members, Hernandez and Hugh, the Hollywood cleanup. That was very well attended. And also had the opportunity to attend briefly at the BDCA meeting last week. That was wonderful as well. Thank you. Councilor Simmons?
I realize I should have provided this announcement at the beginning of the meeting, but I did want to let folks know that there is a community design charrette for the project at 5021 Lakeland Road this Thursday, April 23rd at 7:30 p.m. here at City Hall. I'm sure city staff probably have more information on this than I do, but I did want to provide that information to folks who might be interested.
And at 7 o'clock, I believe there is an art project or something related to arts. There is an event at the City Hall. I think it was on our website. It's interesting that two events happening the same evening. Councilor Jordan.
Pass.
And Councilor Hill.
Yes, I also did attend a number of these events with Mayor Pro Tem and the mayor and a few other council members, the fire department and the 101st anniversary celebration. Unfortunately, my colleagues left before the best part of it, which is the video of the highlights of the fire response that they went to, which is really great to see. You know, a lot of them were recognizable within the city of College Park or in District 1 or where have you. And then, yes, I also attended the Neighbors Helping Neighbors event as well, the community cleanup, and those are all on the same day.
It's very busy weekend. Yeah. Very, very busy.
And I will be attending the placemaking workshop, all-day workshop on Thursday, and a preliminary meeting on Wednesday. And then hope to see you all at Maryland Day on Saturday. Go Terps.
Certainly. Yeah, looking forward to. Finally, Councilor Hernandez.
Yeah, really quick. I neglected to talk about a District 1 County Council community conversation where the 21st delegation will be in attendance tomorrow, Wednesday, April 22nd at 6:30 p.m. at Laurel Beltsville Senior Activity Center. Please join if you can. For this week, I had the opportunity to meet with the county executive in a very separate meeting with my fellow elected Latino elected officials and some other community members from the stakeholders to talk about issues that and priorities of discussion with the county executive. She was an excellent listener, and I'm looking forward to that continued partnership. On Saturday, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to make it to the firefighters celebration. I was a guest speaker at one of the University of Maryland's Office of Multi-Ethnic Student Education. They hosted an event for College Success Scholars. It was a really great event. It was about male students mentoring males, like men mentoring men. It was unique. It wasn't what I expected, and I'm really glad that the University of Maryland provided that opportunity because, in an effort to build out those strategic relationships, it was also great to meet some of the young men who are working towards closing that attrition gap that exists for male students graduating from the university.
Thank you. Thank you for attending the other events as well. Let's go to our student liaison, Mr. DeSpirito. Final thoughts?
No comments, so pass.
Thank you. Thank you for your help with the interview of the new student liaison.
Right, of course.
Thank you. And let's go to Ms. Bujma.
No comment.
Thank you. Finally?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Oh, thank you.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Hold on a second. Councilmember Hernandez and Mayor Pro Tem. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The meeting is adjourned. Good night, College Park.